Chop. And in the underhand chop, our rookies have a block 12 inches around of aspen wood. They're going to be chopping through between their feet. They make a chop through one side of the block. When they reach halfway, they turn and then have to finish the block from the opposite side. Underhand chop.
All right, let's get him out here. Our first heat of the underhand chop on stand number 1, Anthony McLean.
And on stand number 2, he's chopping against Richard Langell.
All right. Big first heat. Both these guys, first time in the STIHL Timbersports arena, in the series, on the stage, all of that. How does that play in, Rod?
Well, it's a great experience for them. I know that. Both these competitors obviously competing at Dalhousie Agricultural Campus, so they have a little bit of familiarity with the underhand chop and doing this event. But this is the first time on the big stage, so big change for them, and we're expecting big things. So let's see how they make out in this underhand chop, our first discipline in the Rookie Canadian Championship.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
And right off on the first swing, Anthony McLean from Penobscot, New Brunswick, doing a great job. He's got a good pace going. Richard Langell also taking nice hard swings. They have to chop halfway through the block. When they get into the small wood now, as that V gets tighter and tighter, they'll put some drivers, some heavy hits in before they turn, and now they're both on their second side. They're swinging 5-pound razor blades here. They are razor sharp. They're doing a good job keeping a good pace here. As they get into the smaller wood, they'll be trying to put some what we call drivers in to break the block, and there it is. Anthony McLean from Penobscot. Richard Langell doing a good job finishing off his underhand. Let's stay behind him here. Being a little bit tough here at the end. Richard still swinging good and strong. In typical lumberjack fashion, we always give the biggest cheer for the last person done. Good job, Richard. Let's finish that block. He's got it wobbling. A couple more swings. There it is. It's a real stubborn block for Richard in that heat. In just a second, we're going to have the competitors down here, and they're going to have a little chat with Ryan. He's going to find out how their chops went. See a yellow flag down here on the right-hand side of the stage.
We're going to do a video review on stand number 2 for exceeding the time limit.
So there is a time limit in the underhand chop. Actually, in all of our disciplines, they have 1 minute and 30 seconds to complete the event. As you know, Richard was very close to the whistle, so they'll actually go to the video review and actually check it, make sure he was off before the minute 30 seconds.
How many times have we said it, Rod? Slow time better than no time.
Exactly.
You need those points. Every event that these guys are doing, because there's 8 competitors, it's 8 points to the winning time, the fastest time in that discipline, 1 point for the slowest time, but if it's a DQ, it's 0 points. And this is a race for points all the way through. You want to get points all the way through. These first 2 events are worth a maximum of 8. Yep.
Okay, and stand number 1, we have a good cut. Stand number 2, it's a DQ for exceeding the time limit.
Oh, it's unfortunate.
Well, it's unfortunate for Richard Langell there in his first heat. in the underhand chop. That'll likely fire him up. There's still 4 more events to come, so lots of time for Richard to make up for that DQ.
Okay, gang, here with Anthony McLean. Anthony, your first time on the STIHL Timbersports stage. You won your heat. That's a pretty good start. How you feeling, pal?
It felt really good. Yeah, no, it feels great.
Came through the AC program, right? Okay, did you chop underhand in college?
I did, yeah. Yes.
So is this your go-to? Was this kind of the ease in here, the underhand chop?
Yeah, no, it's a really good way to get warmed up, and I'm looking forward to the single buck.
All right, we're going to let this guy go get ready. Great job, Anthony McLean here, kicking things off. STIHL Timbersports.
So Ryan, in the underhand chop, we actually have a national record that has been held right now. I can't see it.
Oh, national record in this? No, it's, boy, be in the 20s anyway. It'll be a tough time to beat here today based on the wood, but you never know. You catch the right block on the right day, ooh, it could be done.
In that first heat, Anthony McLean at a time of 41.39 seconds. So that's what the remaining competitors will be gunning for. 41.39, that's our time to beat.
I suspect we'll see that time drop here.
No question. No question. We've got some great choppers coming up as the heats go on. The time should keep dropping. Wood crew busy setting these blocks. You can see some faint lines drawn on these blocks. That's actually what the competitors draw on. They want to follow those lines as close as they can to get to the center of their block. They've also carved out some footholds because these blocks are round. They need a place to set their feet so that they have a good solid footing when they're swinging at the block. Our wood crew doing a great job setting the blocks for us.
Yeah, big hand for our wood crew. We get the best wood crew in the business, in the sport. Volunteers, they work hard behind the scenes, setting up the stage, cleaning up everything. And then look at them, just up there, getting everything good to go. We've got some results here, Rod. So we're ready. Again, it's 8 points. It says 12 points there, but it's 8 points for the winner of the underhand, 8 points for the winner of the stock saw. Double points for standing block and the single buck.
Exactly.
And
so
then,
as the events get a little bit tougher,
right,
the points go up in value. So that's right. The second to third and fourth events here tonight, the standing block and the single buck get double points. And then, of course, the springboard chop.
Well, and we cut 2 competitors before we move into that springboard, and then it's triple points for the springboard.
That's right.
It's I mean, we're early. We're just getting going here. We're just scratching the surface. This thing is about to get blown wide open. Next heat. Boy, Logan Kennedy and Devin Bustard. These are former teammates, the UNB Woodsman team.
That's right.
Our alma mater.
Takes us right back to where we started out,
Yeah, that's
Ryan,
right,
at the
yeah.
University of New Brunswick, years and years ago.
Chopped a few blocks at UNB back in the day. Chopped a few at the AC too. Yeah. I know these guys are hungry. They've been training hard. I've been watching their all their social media stuff. They've been hitting hard. Devin's been really putting some time, and he's been training a lot with Paul Woodland, our wood boss.
Correct.
Who is a staunch professional. He's been around the game forever, and he's clearly learning a lot. Logan, I know Logan's been putting in a lot of time. I think he's been up training with you a little bit.
He's been at the Cumberland deck
There
training
you go.
and chopping blocks. So both these guys and their heads seem to be in the game right now. So
Yeah.
just come out and chop their block, and we should see some more good times.
I think so. But hey, good job, Anthony McLean there. He put in a good cut. I thought that was going to be. I didn't think that log was going to cut quite as quick as it did. He got through it. All right, ready to go in heat number 2 of the underhand chop. Please welcome to the stage on stand number 1, Logan Kennedy. Big hand for Logan.
And Logan will be chopping against a close friend of his living in the same general area from Elmwood, New Brunswick, Devin Bustard.
Second year in the rookie series for Devin. He broke out in Kitchener, Ontario last year. Had a pretty good run. Looked pretty good on the stage. And I think as you get the experience of being on this Steel Timber Sports stage, you know, the bright lights start to fade a little bit. They don't wear quite as heavy. We'll see.
Both guys preparing their axes, putting a little bit of what
what are they doing there, Rod?
It's STP oil treatment. It's actually a really greasy film and helps them when they make their first couple of swings into that block before the chips actually come out. It makes the axe a lot freer in the wood, bounces right back out for them, so it keeps it from sticking.
Really kills your momentum when that axe is sticking, eh?
Exactly, exactly.
Ready to go.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Big opening blows right on the gun. Devin Bustard, Logan Kennedy head to head. Big race, big swings. You can tell these guys are putting everything behind that axe. Opening blows. They're getting into the small wood. Devin's going to put some drivers here, it looks like. Logan's right there with him. This is a close race, folks. Big opening blows, my goodness. And he's turning. Devin's around, and Logan's right there with him. This is a close race. Good looking stick there, stand number 2. Devin's opening it up. The chips are moving. Logan's right there with him. This is a stroke for stroke race, folks. Devin putting in these big, powerful swings. Logan loading up. Big bit of a glance there, picks up a chip, but he's got open wood to work into. The axe is liking the inside of that wood on Logan's log. I can see it, but Devin is right there. He's going to try and take this off. He's going to clean up this bottom. Logan's right there with him. Who's going to take this race, folks? Let him hear it. Here it is, one more. Oh, Devin, he's there. Devin gets him. Logan not too far behind. He's wooded himself a bit, but he can clean that out. If he did his work on the front, that log's still going to break. He's got to break that top, just as he did there. Take the middle, and then one more in the bottom. Should break that. One more. One more. Little missed hit there, but he's going to clean that off there. No big deal. Logan Kennedy, Devin Bustard, great job, both these guys. Fantastic cutting. We may have seen that time to beat lowered there, Rod.
I don't think so.
Ooh.
Actually, the first heat, the young fella, actually, Anthony has the least experience of all these rookies.
Yeah.
And he's just laid down a 41-second
Yeah, it's a good cut, real good cut. You're right.
I'm pretty sure both these guys are just over a minute.
We're going to do a video review on stand number 2 for exceeding the time limit.
Okay. Another tight one. Yeah, that 90 seconds on tough, large tooth aspen wood. Tell us a bit about this this wood species they're cutting, Rod.
Well, there's 2 basic poplar species in the East. Actually, if you count balsam poplar, there's 3. But large tooth and trembling aspen are the main 2 poplar species we have. Pretty sure these 2 are, the wood that we've been provided is large tooth aspen. And it's not quite as soft as trembling. It's a little bit chippier. And of course, this wood here has been a little bit tougher today. So I don't think we're going to see records broken. But the key right now is for them to get underneath that minute 30 seconds.
That's right. We're checking on that now. We have a very sophisticated timing system. It's all video based and everything is broken down to the 1,000th of a second to ensure that we have accurate timing. We want to make sure that if these guys do break a record, that we can capture that properly and record it.
And again, the minute 30 is critical because, of course, it goes from being 0 for having a DQ to actually getting points on the board for being under that time.
Every point counts. All right, here we go. Official call.
Okay, after a video review, we have 2 good cuts.
There we go. That's what you want to hear. Boy, Logan was happy with that. We're going to have a word with Devin Bustard taking down that race. Minute 7 seconds for Devin Bustard. Not fast enough to get through, but boy, he was a good-looking cut.
Okay, so Devin, I know typically when you go up to chop a block like this, you have a plan in your head of how many swings you're going to make. That wood was a little bit firmer, so how do you change on the fly?
You just keep, well, I was expecting 14 in the front just to make sure I was there at half. I did 2 1-on-1s on the bottom of the front side just to ensure that I didn't short myself, because I knew I wouldn't be able to get it off in the back if I did short myself on the front. So I just put that work in on the front. I don't know, it was kind of an abysmal chop. It was all over the place. The axe liked it, but if I could have that block again, I could probably shave off 15, 20 seconds, I think.
Awesome. Well, great job. That was a good cut in that heat, so get ready for the next one.
Thanks, Rod. Thanks, Devin. Good start for Devin there. Currently sitting second in the underhand chop. That means pretty good points for him. 4 cutters yet to go, though, and 4 good cutters, all of which were in the series last year, except for one young man. But I don't think that matters that he wasn't in the series.
I don't think it does. He's the son of Mitch, who we call the Missile Hewitt.
The Missile, yeah.
He's a 15-time jiggerboard champion at the Sydney Royal in Australia. And Jake just got back from down under here a few months ago, and he won the handicap down there. So that did very, very well. No stranger at all to the axe world.
No.
But before we get to those guys, we've got the Ethans coming out.
The Ethan Challenge. You don't get to see too many Ethan challenges, but on this day, you're seeing it.
Now, I'll tell you the other thing with the Ethans that matter. Remember, we told you that our rookie division, you have to be 25 years old or younger. So this is the last year that these two guys can actually make and actually win the Canadian Championship and represent Canada at the World. So we know these next two competitors are going to be leaving it all on stage in every event, and I expect to see some great times out of both these competitors.
Definitely both very well trained. Ethan does a lot of training, I know, with Jeff Larkin. Ethan Stretch, Ethan Johnson, training out of Ontario, but both very, very strong competitors, and either one could take this down today,
right.
No question.
Good coaching. I mean, Jeff Larkin helping out Ethan Stretch. And, of course, Al Cavers is the one that's been helping
that's right.
coach
yes, of course,
Ethan Johnston. So, I mean, both guys have got some really good coaching.
You bet.
They've been at this for a number of years. They both have, 3 or 4 years now underneath their belts from the collegiate level.
Yeah.
So lots of talent here in this next event, in this next heat.
No, you're right. You're right. Big, strong guys, too. Ethan Johnson's probably walking around at 6'3", 6'4", 200 plus.
Yeah, they're strapping lads.
Big, strong guys.
Now, they've had the advantage of watching the first 2 heats. They know the wood is a little firm. And they also know roughly how many swings it's taken. So that they're likely in their head now they've got pretty much a plan down for what they want to do. And both guys like the underhand chop.
Oh, yeah. Ethan especially.
Yeah, Ethan. I think Ethan likes it more than
Well, I don't know. I mean, when it comes to chopping, I think of Ethan. These guys, we're going to loosen these guys up a little bit. They get so nervy back there, There's no need of that. Just calm down, guys. Come out here, have a nice chop. Have some fun. We're ready.
Well, again,
all right. Ready? Okay. We're ready to go with heat number 3 of the underhand chop. Please welcome on stand number 1, Ethan Johnston.
And on stand number 2, we have from Halifax, Ethan Stretch.
Can you tell me they switched? Should check, because
again, the time to beat, 41.39, set down in that first heat by Anthony McLean from Penobsquist, New Brunswick.
yeah, 41-39 could drop in this heat. I wouldn't be surprised. We got a good crowd here, Rod. Look at this.
Awesome crowd. Great to see them.
If I had to estimate, I'd say 10,000 people. I'm not sure. I'm not good at estimating.
They're going to sound like 10,000 when they get behind this heat.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Ethan Johnson right out of the gate. He is getting into that block, swinging hard, swinging fast. He's got a pile of chips hanging down right now in front of him, so there's lots of wood coming out of that block. He may have a nice soft one. Ethan Stretch also going at it really hard. They're both getting into small wood. And Ethan Stretch, first one to turn aside to Ethan Johnston, right with him. They are swinging hard and fast as the chips are flying from these blocks. Ethan Stretch with a softer block. He's putting good work in here now as they're getting into the small wood, getting ready to drive. And it's Ethan Stretch. Lowering that time to beat. Ethan Johnson still swinging as there's valuable points on the line. Great race there by the Ethans. Our judging team taking a look at the blocks, and they're looking for a couple things. They're making sure, number one, the blocks are completely severed, and number two, they're not chopped into their footholds.
And we have 2 good cuts.
So both cuts are good. Ethan Stretch, he may have lowered that time to beat.
All right, gang, I'm here with the top Ethans so far. Ethan Stretch squeaks out a win there. That was a beautiful chop. How'd you feel about that chop, Edie?
It was a good chop. I was a little timid at how things were going to start out today. That's the start that I needed.
Tell me something. What were you swinging for an axe there? Because it seemed to really like that wood. It seemed to be moving the wood. Good block. What were you swinging?
Well, I can't give away all my secrets, Ryan. It's a new axe. I just hung it the other day. It's obviously liking the wood.
This guy, I'm telling you, holding his cards close to the chest. Ethan Stretch, but doing a great job in the underhand chop. Big hand for Ethan. Nice job, pal.
So in that last heat, Ryan, Ethan Johnston had a time of 49.55 seconds. But how about Stretch? Time to beat was 41.39 seconds.
And he dropped it to 41.20. Woo! Ethan
So
Stretch.
sitting in first place right now in the rookie division underhand chop is Ethan Stretch, 41.2. But we've got a couple of big guns on their way.
2 fantastic choppers coming up. Our reigning Canadian champion and, you know, Jake Hewitt. We'll see how he does. But that's fantastic. Great job by Ethan Stretch. That puts him in a position that we know there's only 2 choppers left. He's leading the charge. So he's guaranteed at least 6 points out of the possible 8.
Exactly.
If these 2 guys come in at a slower time, he gets 7 or 8. That's a great position to be in.
It is, and of course it puts a little bit of pressure on the guys to come.
Big time. Yeah, exactly.
They know it's tough wood. They know it's hard chopping. And of course, Ethan Stretch has just laid down a 41.2. So
a great time.
Yep.
Now tell me something. Matthew Budd being from the East Coast, chopping this wood a little more often than Jake, do you think he brings an advantage over someone coming from the West Coast?
Had Jake Hewitt not gone down under and chopped the really hard wood from Australia, I'd say he probably does have an advantage, but no stranger at all to the tough wood is Jake Hewitt.
All right, ready to go in heat number 4, the final heat of the underhand chop. Folks, give these guys a big hand on stand number 1 from Magna Bay, BC, Jake Hewitt.
And number 2 in this heat, our defending Canadian champion, Matthew Budd.
Oh boy, premier heat of the underhand. Do not blink. My guess is we see the time to beat drop, but you never know. Could come down to the wood draw. We've been seeing it all day.
Exactly right. I mean, the wood is also a factor, so 2 nice looking axes out there. I see Jake's looking like he's swinging a nice banana grind.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Very comfortable up
Yes. And it looks like a chisel by Matt.
Yep.
41.2.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
First man in the wood is Jake Hewitt hitting that big hard block. Doing a great job. He's got a great pace going. He and Matthew both swing for swing here right now. As Jake gets into the smaller wood, he's putting a few drivers in, and he's going to be around on this nice block. Jake Hewitt has got the block to do it in. He keeps his pace. Matthew Budd with a real tough bone of a block here. He's going to take a little bit more time, swing a little bit harder to make sure he gets his block chopped. But he's got it done. He's putting his drivers in the front and getting around to side number 2 as Jake Hewitt drives it off. Let's stay with Matthew Budd, last year's champion. We've got to keep him going. He needs a good time. Lots of trouble in this really firm block here, but Matthew's staying right with it. Just like the champion he is, he's not going to give up. He's going to keep wailing away at this block. Get underneath that minute, 30 seconds. He needs a points. There it is.
Way to stay with it there, Matt Budd. That's your reigning champ. Draw a tough log, you stay with it, you work through. He's getting points for that. Nice job by both these guys. How about that chop? That's your underhand chop. Woo, baby, we're going to have some results here in a minute, Rod. That was incredible. Jake Hewitt. I can't wait to see that time.
Youngest guy here.
Okay, we have 2 good cuts.
All right, gang, I'm going to steal Jake Hewitt. Man of probably a few words, kind of like his dad. Stand on this side of me, bud. Jake, your first time on the STIHL Timbersports stage. Tell the folks at home, how old are you?
18 years old.
This is an 18-year-old young man graduating high school. He pretty certain he just took down the underhand chop. How are we doing for a time over there, Rod?
Well, unofficially, I have him at 38.02.
I think we have a new leader in the underhand chop and taking down the first event of the day. Jake, you've been putting in a lot of time in the chops. How'd you feel about that cut overall?
Yeah, it felt good. It's a little drier than I had hoped, but I just wanted to cut it right and get it off. That's the plan.
Big points here for Jake Hewitt starting off his STIHL Timbersports career right here in Truro. You're seeing it, folks. Big hand for him. We're going to let him go get ready for the next event.
So, Ryan, the times are just in here right now. We're awaiting Matthew Budd's time. But no question, Jake Hewitt has lowered the time to beat, and he will take first place. Matthew Budd with a time of 1 minute, 11 seconds. But how about this? Jake Hewitt with a time of 36.45. He's just got himself 8 points towards his overall total here.
Big start. Huge start. That's exactly where he wants to be. The chops are where he can separate himself. If he chops the way he can chop, those are 3 events that can bring in huge points for Jake Hewitt.
No question, no question. So, and again, another quiet guy that lets his axe do the talking. It's really nice to see him. He's a quiet and kind young man. It's good to see people like that coming into the sport.
Yeah, definitely. Next event we're going to be rolling into, Rod, is going to be the stock saw. Tell us a little bit about the STIHL stock saw, Rod.
STIHL stock saw. This is what we call the great equalizer. It comes down to the operator of the saw. We have 2 STIHL 661 saws. They are tacked to 13,500 RPM. They're identically tacked. They have brand new chains on them. So everything is equal. The logs they're cutting come from the same tree. They're cut in half, and then 1/2 goes on one stand, 1/2 goes on the other. So really it comes down to the operator.
A big fast time in this event. 11 seconds and change, I'd say.
Actually, the stock saw record in Canada right now is held by Matthew Budd, who set it over in Milan, Italy just a month or 2 ago. 9.73 seconds.
Well, we might see it broken here today. Let's get these guys going in the first heat of the STIHL stock saw on stand number 1, Anthony McLean.
And on stand number 2, he'll be taking on Richard Langell.
There we go, a couple of AC boys. Basically a home show for them. You know, they're used to being across the road, McMillan
right.
Center, or across over the road at the Woodlot.
Right in their backyard. So what they're
yeah.
doing right now, Ryan, they're drawing lines on. They have to make 2 cuts. They are given 4 inches of wood. There's a line drawn the whole way around the block. They have to make 2 cuts within that 4 inches of wood. Sounds simple, but it's not quite that simple.
It's a million ways to DQ. I'd say we saw a few of those today.
We did.
Maybe about 200,000 of those. I'm not sure.
Okay, warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Whoa, that's why we call it the Great Equalizer.
Oh boy, we see some yellow flags. That indicates that the judges have seen something they want to review. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a disqualification, but it means they want to take a look at things. So this could be anything from a jumped gun starting before go. It could be an incomplete disc. It could be your fingers aren't completely over the center of the log. That's a requirement. There's a line drawn on the top. If your fingers aren't all across, there's...
You need a complete cut, so you have to, the cookie has to be a complete circle. There's lots of ways that things can go sideways.
On stand 2, we have a DQ for cut over the line. And stand number 1, we have a DQ for incomplete cut.
Okay, couple DQs there, unfortunately. Again, that is the stock saw. Anybody that was here earlier today and watching our qualifiers, you saw a number of ways that it's a tough event. It's a fast event, and there's a lot happening all at once. You're constantly thinking, right, Rod?
No question at all. There's a lot of things you have to do. Again, even though that you have that 4 inches of wood, if you set in a little bit close, you're trying to go for speed. So, of course, when you're in the process of trying to get on the block quick, you may miss your line. All of a sudden, you're a little bit too wide, a little bit too narrow, and then once things start going off the rails, they just continue to go off.
As soon as you're steering the saw, things have gone terribly wrong. Yeah. But it's a great event, and when it goes well, it feels amazing. You had the top time in the nation last year, I believe, in all the qualifiers, national championships, everything. I think it was the fastest time of the whole year.
It was a very good time, and of course...
What was that time?
It was low 11s.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a fast time.
10s.
Very fast time, yeah.
It wasn't bad, but then at Nationals, it didn't quite come together.
No. Oh, well. Hey, listen.
I know what these guys
It got
feel
you
like.
to Nationals. That's the key. That's
Right.
the key, yeah.
But I know what they're feeling right now. It's hard to see
Yeah.
things go sideways in the stock saw. They're well-needed points. Again, there's still lots of time left. The next 2 events are worth double points, so they're not going to stop swinging hard yet.
No, that's right. Yeah, it's the thing you got to remember too that's a bit different in this race is where the points start doubling in the single buck and standing block. You might be able to get away with this.
Exactly. Actually, we had at the Worlds last year, Grunwald, he actually took a DQ in the stock saw and wound up winning the Worlds. So
You're right. All right, ready to go with heat number 2, the steel stock saw. On stand number 1, please welcome back to the stage Logan Kennedy.
And from Elmwood, New Brunswick, Devin Bustard.
Now, Devin, as we said before, he's been training a lot with Paul Woodland, Woodzilla.
Yeah,
I would think he's been putting some time in on the stock saw.
No stranger at all to chainsaws. Paul Woodland, he's actually a world record holder in the hot saw.
Yeah.
Won the provincial title many times. Mm-hmm. So again, he's training with a guy that knows a lot about saws, runs them every day for a living. So
absolutely.
Lots of good experience there.
And with Logan now, as you said before, he's been training a bit with you and with Nathan and Ben. How's his been training, progressing, becoming the stock
Logan's
saw?
been coming leaps and bounds, really. So two good competitors here. I'm expecting to see some good times in the stock saw.
Great.
Okay, warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
You just saw a terrific cut by Devin Buster, not to be outdone. Logan had a great cut too, but that was a smoking cut. I don't know what that time was. I'm looking forward to seeing it, but he was quick to the wood, perfect transition, smooth throughout. Well done.
Pressure was perfect. That's what you need to do as competitor. Listen to the RPM of the chainsaw and make sure you're in the power zone the whole time you're cutting.
I don't know what that time was, but that was
And
gonna be
we've
a tough
got
one to
two
beat.
good cuts.
There we go. 2 good cuts from these guys. We're going to grab Devin. Here, all right, guys, here with Devin Buster. Devin, beautiful cut. You've been putting some time in on the stock saw. How did that cut go for you? How did you feel?
Well, they don't always go like that, but training stock saw is all about consistency. If you can get that first start the same every time, you can get your changeovers the same. It's just slowly going to get faster. I got to thank Paul Woodland. He's really been pushing for me and Logan to train stock saw more, and so all credit goes to him.
Oh, that's awesome. You guys were both neck and neck. Logan also put in a great cut, but that cut right there, I mean, that was right on the money. You clearly been chaining with the 661, I'm guessing?
We got a 660 to train.
There you go. Basically the same saw, older model. Great job. Big hand for Devin Buster. What a cut. What a cut.
So again, we know that the Canadian record in the steel stock saw in the rookie level is 9.73. That was set by Matthew Budd.
Was that overseas? That must have been at Worlds.
It was. It was at the Worlds. Now in that last heat, Logan Kennedy had a time of 16.4 seconds, but the time to beat right now here tonight is 13.96 set by Devin Buster in that last heat.
That is a fast time. That's a good time. That's going to be a tough time to beat. As smooth as he was, that will be very tough to beat that because of how smooth he was. There was no mistakes there. I didn't see any mistakes.
None at all. So you need to be flawless and just maybe a little bit more pressure on that saw. But of course, you always risk the chance if you're going to bog the saw.
Yeah, you put too much weight on those saws, and boy, they just bog right out. I mean, they can take a lot. It's 93 cc's. These are not small chainsaws, but even still, you can weight them pretty hard, and all of a sudden you hear them, whoa, just slow down on you. You know, like when you're bucking firewood in the backyard and you go a little bit too heavy. It's kind of like that.
That's the sound of points flying away.
It is, yeah. That is the sound of points. It's a sad sound, too. Well, 2 good cuts there. That's points right on the board, speaking of.
Yeah, and also I'd like to mention that Anthony McLean in that first heat of the underhand chop gained himself 6 points. He finished 3rd place in that heat in the underhand chop. So
oh, wow, good for him.
Really
wow,
good.
Look at that. Anthony McLean off to a great start. Yeah, I mean, you got to shake off the DQ and the stock saw. Again, single points for this round, double points for the next. And we're ready to go with heat number 3 in the steel stock saw. Please welcome to stand number 1, Ethan Stretch. Man, this guy, beloved.
And on stand number 2, Ethan Johnston.
There we go. All right. The crowd loves Ethan Stretch, tell you.
Hometown favorite in this heat.
I dig it. Ethan and Ethan going to go head-to-head, at least for a little while, for this event. And then next round, we'll swap it out. It'll basically go on placings. But for now, it's the Ethan versus Ethan challenge.
So again, the time to beat, 13.96 seconds laid down by Devin Bustard in the last heat. 2 capable and competent Sawyers coming right up, though, in our 3rd heat of the steel stock saw.
Okay, warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Wow. That was a come from behind race. He had a bobble to start. Ethan Johnston did on stand number 2. Brought it back. That was a great race.
I saw him miss the handle when he went down to get it.
Yeah.
And I thought, uh-oh.
And then missed the start.
Exactly.
And
And
still
then
caught up.
Still came back and actually
Wow.
photo finish.
And we've got 2 good cuts.
All right.
Ethan Johnston. So that's a great race. I get to pick who I want because it's a photo finish right now until we have the official time. My time shows it a little bit quicker than even Devin Bustard's time. So when that happens, when you go down and you miss the handle, I saw that when your first swing. What goes through your head then? What are you going to do to try to regain that?
I was thinking I just had to, control my breath, slow myself down, and think about what I have to do. Because if I speed it up or I try to go fast or move fast, I'm going to mess something else up. So.
Right on. Well, you did that very well and actually got a good cut. It was a photo finish when we watched and hear from the stands. So it'll be interesting to see what your time is. But great job.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Rod. I appreciate it.
Hey, great. Ethan Johnston, all the way here from Lindsay, Ontario, doing a great job there in the steel stock saw. We're still waiting to see who actually had the faster time, but it was close.
That was a great race. Johnston staying with it. I'm ashamed to say I had given up. I saw the bobble. I looked over. I saw Ethan stretch with a perfect, flawless cut.
Come on, Ryan.
I
That
know,
was a great
I know.
cut,
Have
eh?
faith. Have faith.
Have faith, buddy.
I know.
Yeah, and
I felt. You know what? I fell in with the crowd. Everyone's these big Ethan Stretch fans. So I was like, well, I got to watch him. That's a great race, though. Both guys are going to get good points out of that.
Good
It's
points.
a good race.
That's right. Good points at both times. Should be a little bit quicker than our fastest time so
Yep.
far. So.
We're waiting on the official times here. But as soon as they come up, boy, we're going to have some fast times. That might have been in the 12s.
Yep, I think so, too.
Nearly ready to go with our final. We are ripping through here this rookie championship. This is fast pace.
Fast pace action, and that's what the fans want, I'm sure.
Yep.
How you liking it so far, gang?
Yeah, I mean, Rod, when you talk about the steel stock saw and you talk about all of those minute little details that go into it, the amount of time and training you got to put into it, man, it's a tough event. It looks so easy. I mean, I think compared to the other disciplines, people
No
think,
question.
oh, geez, I'm not going to pick up an axe and swing it between my feet. But stock saw, people are pretty quick to, I think I could maybe do that.
It looks a lot less technical.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you how simple it can be. Last year at the Nationals, I forgot my lumber crayon in my pocket.
Right.
So when I got up there to the stage, and I thought, oh, I've done this 100 times. I can do it. I'm an old pro.
I'll eyeball it.
Yeah,
like a good carpenter on the week, a good Sunday afternoon carpenter. I'll just eyeball it.
Yeah, and guess what happened? It was a train wreck.
It was. I was there. I believe I interviewed you afterwards. Yeah, no, I remember that.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, you brought it up, so I mean, at that point, it's fair game, Rob. No, it's the steel stock saw is a very technical event. It's one of these ones that you really have to. There's a lot of things going around. Your feet are in the right position, your body's in the right position, the saw's in the right position, your marks are in the right spot. You want to have everything, a strong base, all of that, and it looks like we're coming up with some official times. Holy cow. Is that right? Are we confirming? Wow.
How about that, Ryan? I'm looking at the numbers here.
Yeah.
We have a lower time to beat, but they tied. 13.55 seconds. That's our fastest time. Both Ethans with an identical time.
Hundredth of a second. Hundredth of a second.
Wow.
These Ethans. I'm telling you. Ethan. You can't pick a better Ethan. We're ready to go in the final heat of the steel stock saw, folks. Please welcome back to the stage on stand number 1, Jake Hewitt.
And from Limestone, New Brunswick, Matthew Budd.
Boy, how about that? A tie. You don't see ties in stock saw.
You don't see ties with a fast time like that, typically.
No. Wow.
That's awesome.
So right now, both sitting in, again, great position. Both the Ethans for points for the stock saw. Good for them. But either one of these guys totally capable.
No question.
We're looking
no
at
question.
the national record holder on stand number 2,
Yes, actually,
Matthew Budd,
9.73.
and reigning champion of the rookie division, Hungry.
And
then we're looking at Jake Hewitt, who just won the Underhand Chop. He's coming out of that event. We'll see how that goes. Lefty.
Okay, warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Wow. Excellent cut by Matt Budd. Jake Hewitt with a good cut too, but man, quick to the wood. He really went for it. He was racing.
You know, and it's funny. Typically, we've always trained guys and told them straight down, straight up. Matthew has a different technique, but man, it is working for him.
I guess it is. That was a wicked run.
Got 2 good cuts.
2 good cuts. That's what you want. We'll have to wait an official time on that, but boy, from the stopwatch I'm looking at, it's looking like we may have a new leader in the stock saw. Heck of a run by Matthew Budd. Jake Hewitt, not a bad run from him either. We're going to steal Matt, have a little chat with the reigning Canadian champion, Matthew Budd. Hey, how about a big hand for Matt? Matt, unofficially, I had you clocked at about 12.5 seconds. That would drop that time to beat by a full second. Excellent run. You were quick to the wood. The transition was super smooth. How'd you feel about the cut, pal?
Very good. I tried my best to stay consistent the way I train, and I came out here and brought consistency, and that's the product.
Now tell me something. You got to see the qualifiers earlier today. You got to see a lot of stock saw. Do you feel that had an impact on your ability to kind of approach the event here this afternoon?
Yeah, maybe a little, but it's your own game. You know, the way you do it in training, you come out here, you do your best. The wood was great, no mistakes, and good time.
Well, listen, I'm going to say you're probably walking away with 8 points in that event. We're going to be moving into the next round. We've got standing block and we've got single block, and it's double points. How are you feeling about those events, Matt?
Good. It's all uphill from here.
All uphill. All uphill or all downhill, however you want to look, whatever your perspective is. Yeah, Matt Budd, looking great. You're reigning champion, hoping to take home a second national title. Big hand for Matt Budd, taking down the stock saw. Nice work, pal. All right, man, oh man, we are rolling here, Churro. We're through 2 of our disciplines. That's officially our first round. And we have some official times on the stock saw. I'm going to go through them. Rounding out the stock saw, we had Anthony McLean, Richard Langell, unfortunately with a DQ, no points for them, but Logan Kennedy took home 3 points with a 16.4 second run, 3 points for Logan, 4 points for Devin Buster with his 13.96 run, 5 points for Jake Hewitt. 13.94 with a time of 13.55. Well, both of them, Ethan Stretch and Ethan Johnstone, and the winning time of 12 seconds flat, Matt Budd. What a run. 12 seconds? Are you kidding me? Oh my God. This kid. 12 seconds. That's an excellent time. The stock saw, not an easy thing to do. You can see now that we're setting up for our next event, which is the standing block chop. The standing block chop, if you weren't here earlier today and you didn't see it, this simulates felling a tree. So the logs are fastened into these stands vertically. Competitors are going to come up, they're going to stand next to the log, they're going to cut halfway through the front of the log, they're going to go around to the other side, cut halfway through that, drive the log off, and as soon as that top of that log comes blasting off and rolling across the stage, time stops. Fastest time in this event is double points. So it'll be 16 points to the winner of the standing block, and it'll be 16 points to the winner of the single buck. That's our next two events, and they're coming right up. Now's a great time. Visit our beer garden in the back, Tata Brew. Shout out to them. Also want to give a shout out to Boston Pizza, our title sponsor of the STIHL Timbersports series here in Canada. Boston Pizza is the perfect place to be at and watch all the best sports moments. It's where STIHL Timbersports fans go to watch the action, where hockey fans go for the first puck drop of the season, and where beer league buddies go to celebrate their wins and losses. And with delicious gourmet pizzas, mouth-watering wings, a great selection of beers on tap, and lots of big screen TVs, you will not miss a play. Come on down to Boston Pizza, watch the entire STIHL Timbersports series airing on TSN later this year. If you can make it out to Kelowna in August, just a short hop across the country, we're going to have the national championships for the men's and women's divisions. We saw their qualifiers here today. Some of those competitors will be moving on and heading out to Kelowna. If you feel like a little road trip, it's just a quick 5-day drive. Nip on out there. We're going to fly, but we'll see you there. Hey, speaking of Boston Pizza, Rod, did you know that there is a contest going on right now through STIHL that you can enter at Boston Pizza to win a STIHL AK battery system? Comes with, it includes a chainsaw, a lawnmower, grass trimmer, a blower. It's valued at over $1,500, and you can have your chance to win between now and July 15th to win this whole setup. That's pretty incredible.
At Boston Pizza?
Yeah.
Whereabouts are they in town?
We're going to go now, actually.
I was going to say,
are there any volunteers to take over the emceeing? Because we'd both like to.
I'd like to scan my QR code and get a few entries into that if I could.
Mostly, I just want the lawnmower. I'll take a battery-powered lawnmower.
You take the lawnmower. I'll take the other 3.
Okay.
That's a good deal.
That is a pretty good deal. You know what? I'm good. I'm in. All right. That's a handshake deal. That's verbal. It's a contract.
Would you like to know how things are sitting right now after 2 events? How about the results of the stock saw? Let's do those first.
I just went through them. They're good.
Oh, they are?
Yep.
Okay, let's say where people are sitting here right now. After 2 events, so again, 8 points for first place, down to 1 for last, or if you take a DQ, there's no points. So right now in first place, from Halifax, Ethan Stretch is holding down first place. Only 1 point behind him, young Jake Hewitt from Magna Bay, British Columbia.
Yes, sir.
In third place, Ethan Johnston from Ontario. Last year's champion holding down 4th place. Devin Bustard in 5th, Anthony McLean in 6th, Logan Kennedy in 7th, and Richard Langell in 8th place.
Yeah, and really, we're just getting going.
Yes.
Now, when we move into the second round and the points double, it shifts everything around.
So, just to show you how that works, our first place right now has 14 points, but you can get How many points for a first place in this
16
event?
points.
16. So you can get more points than the first place guy has right now if you win one of these events.
Yeah.
So things can still go a lot of different directions.
Big time. It's an absolute horse race.
It is.
Do not pick your guy yet. I mean, I know most of these people seem to be, they've already picked Heath and Stretch. I understand that, but I'm telling you, it is a race.
It is. And I'll tell you, I'm not counting out Matt Budd, Ethan Johnson, or Jake Hewitt at all.
No, absolutely not. I after these first two events, I really see. I think it's a very close group. All 8 guys really have a shot here. I think Richard Langell, couple of rough first couple of events, but as you said, we're rolling into the standing block. He likes the standing block. We're rolling into the single buck. This guy's coming out of the AC. He's a great single bucker.
Right.
You could turn the whole thing around.
He could be right on top after 2 more events.
Yeah. No, this is, you see Scotty Reed up there banging in one of the blocks. Scott built this stage. He competed earlier today in the qualifier. Now he's helping out behind the scenes. How about a hand for that guy there? One of your pros pitching in, giving a hand. He's an AC guy. I don't know if the clap was for Scott or for the AC. I think it was the AC, but I'm not sure. Yeah,
so in this next
chop.
event, the standing block chop, just so they know roughly what times we're looking at now, although the wood is a little bit firmer here, the record holder is actually Ben Cumberland, who's the reigning Canadian champion. We saw him a little bit earlier today. Wonder where he's at. It'd be great to get a hold of him and actually talk to him a little bit. But he holds down the record right now in the standing block chop at the rookie level with a time of 14.43 that I know he set over in St. Johann, Austria.
Oh my. We're just about ready to go. We're going to throw a ratchet strap on that stand. Nathan Cumberland up there. I like seeing the pros helping out,
Yeah, and actually it's very smart on a lot of the rookies' parts. They actually grabbed one of the pros to give them a hand, so.
Yeah, and I mean, there's something to be said, too, for these guys showing a great example to that next class. This is what you do. You give back, right? You competed earlier today. Yeah, maybe you're tired, a little sore. You come up here, you pitch in, you lend a hand. And so that these guys know when they eventually move up to that level, that's what you do for the generation.
That's what I love about this sport. There's a lot of great camaraderie amongst the competitors.
Sure.
They're great sportsmen.
Definitely.
Help each other out. So, yeah, it's come a long ways from back when I first started, when you would keep your secrets and not tell anybody what was going on.
All right, we're ready to go with heat number 1 of the standing block chop. Please welcome to stand number 1, Richard Langell.
And on stand number 2, Logan Kennedy.
Now, you know Logan well. He's been training with you a bit. How's the standing block been going?
He's an underhand cutter.
Okay.
That's what he's done in college, but he's been taking some time and learning the standing block chop, getting pretty good at swinging at that block. He knows all he's going to do here. He's not racing his block. He's just going to chop it, put a really good solid chop in. So expecting to see good things from Logan. He's in a good frame of mind right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Now I saw Richard last year competing in the Maritime Lumberjack Association, also doing quite well at the standing block chop.
Okay, like to hear it. These guys are looking tuned up, ready to go.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Richard Langell, first one to hit the block, and he's putting big swings in on the front of this block. Logan Kennedy also taking his time, making sure he's making nice, firm swings, following his lines really well. Both blocks seem just a little bit firm. Richard Langell trying to move some wood on the far side of that block so we can get around to side number 2. Logan Kennedy putting in some drivers, and he's going to be around. Logan Kennedy put a good front in that block. Now he's getting around to side number 2. Richard Langell, this block is starting to show that it is a little bit ugly on him. But Logan Kennedy getting into the small wood now. He's hanging with it, and he's going to drive it off. How about it? Richard Langell staying right with it. He knows this is a tough block. He's just going to keep swinging, putting his axe where he knows it needs to go. Try to move a little bit more of this wood. And again, the goal is to get it below that 1 minute, 30 seconds. He wants a few more points. But this is a tough block. Let's cheer him on. He needs a little bit more help, gang.
Tough stick.
Real tough stick.
Yep. But how about Logan?
Hey, that was
Nice
a great
looking cut.
shot, but yet
Yep.
he's coming a long ways.
You bet.
First
Stayed with
time
it.
on the steel stage, first time at the standing block chop, and did a good job. I have him unofficially at 51 seconds and change.
Nothing wrong with that.
On stand 1, we have a DQ for exceeding the time limit, and we have a good cut on stand number 2.
Step into my office. Logan Kennedy here setting the time to beat in the steel standing block chop. How about a big hand for this guy? First time on the STIHL Timbersports stage. You got through that. That's a tough piece of wood, but you cut it pretty well. How'd you feel about the cut overall, Logan?
Well, I've been training a lot with Paul, a lot with Rod. That was my first time I've ever gotten a standing block, ever. So I was really pumped about that. I just want to get a time today. So I've chopped 2 standing blocks in competition, DQ'd in one of them. I got a time here, and I think it was pretty good. So
I could see the emotion. I could see. How about that big hand for this guy, all right? There is a very special feeling. Don't go anywhere. There's a very special feeling when you win a heat of the standing block because you know you won that heat of the standing block. You're driving that log off. You look right over the other side. You know, you're looking at the other side. So you won the first heat. You got through a couple of events. How are you feeling now? Are the nerves settling down? You feeling pretty good?
yeah, I'm still a little nervous. I mean, first time here, I'm going to be a little nervous, but things are starting to settle down. I'm excited to do single buck next. That's my pride and joy. That's what I love, so I'm excited for that.
All right, let's look out for this guy in the single buck. Give him a big hand. Logan Kennedy setting the time to beat in the standing block.
At 49.42 seconds.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Atta boy, Logan. That's good points. I mean, that's a tough. You're seeing this. You're seeing inconsistency consistently in the wood all day. You don't know the log you're going to draw, so that does play a factor.
No question. No, and you know, look at Richard Langell, who's probably done a lot more standing block chops than Logan has, and he had a tough block and took him a long time to get through it.
Yeah, tough. When you run into tough logs like that, it plays in your mind too a little bit. You know, you put in some opening blows, and geez, the chip doesn't come out, or then you're just not penetrating. You think, oh my goodness, is this me? Is it,
you get frustrated. It starts playing with your mind.
Yep.
You know, all the eyes are on you, and that's what really starts bothering you. You know that.
And then the other guy finishes, and everyone cheers, and you know that you're second place. That always kills you too.
I've been there. It's brutal. It is brutal.
Yeah. As long as your name's not Nathan Cumberland, you've probably been there. Yeah. But either way, Logan with a great start. We're getting ready to go for a second heat. But again, what did we say? Double points in this round.
Right. So good on Logan. Logan's got two. Those are two good events for him.
Yep.
He's sitting pretty well.
And you heard him say, my best event, single buck. It's coming up. I can't wait. When it's double points in single buck, that's good when that's your best event.
You betcha.
Oh, boy. These boys are chomping at the bit. I can see him peeking through the curtain, tugging over there. Oh, I love it. Love the rookie championship. Truro, what do you think? This is Timber Sports at its finest. National championships. We're going to see a champion crowned here tonight. Make sure you check out that beer garden back there, rocking it out with the Tata Brew. North Shore Lager, I think it is. That's a good one.
I think we're just waiting for a ratchet strap on stand number 1, Ryan, and we're going to be ready to go in heat number 2.
Ooh, Hippy Dippy. That's the other one. That's a good one. So they put these ratchet straps on because the dogs, once you start putting the force into these logs, sometimes those dogs that are holding the logs in there can actually flop out. So you don't want that happening, so these guys throw these ratchet straps on. They're good to go. I think we're ready. Yeet. All right, next heat of the standing block chop on stand number 1, Anthony McLean.
And on stand number 2, Devin Bustard.
Yeah, Devin coming off a really good run in the stock saw, and that builds a lot of confidence.
Exactly, and once you get that momentum, you want to keep it rolling. Good frame of mind to be in, coming off of a good finish in the event before.
Yeah, it always builds a little confidence. You start, you get a little feel going, okay, that one went good, but you got to forget it. That event's gone. Can't change the points in that one.
In the past.
Good or bad. And this is the good one. Double
exactly.
points.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both on go. Big opening blows. Anthony is putting a serious pace on. Devin going with the big opening swings, moves the chip out, smart play. These guys are racing. Anthony's got a bit of a stiff log. Little glance there from Devin, but he moved another chip out. He's going to set his drivers and get around. These guys are both about to turn. Anthony's around. Devin's around. We've got a race here, folks. Let's cheer him on. Big opening blows. Close call here. Both these guys are working. These are stiff logs. They got to stay with it. They got to follow their lines. Cut with slope. Keep the pace going. Devin's getting into the small wood. Anthony's getting there too. Who's going to take this, folks? Who's going to get it? We got a close race here. Devin's driving. And there it is for Devin Bustard. He takes down Anthony, but not by much. I think he's about to drive this off. He's going to clean this out, clear out his firewood. His near's broke. I think he's about to take that off, folks. Give him a big hand here. Cheer him on. Anthony's going to take this off with one more swing. And there it is. Heck of a job here. No easy feat, the standing block. Devin Bustard getting it done, Rod. Putting the time in. That's training. Rod's going to steal
Definitely
Devin, have a
paying
little chat
off.
with him.
Watching the judges here as they inspect the blocks, make sure they're off clean.
We've got 2 good cuts.
Both cuts are good. That's great. Good news for both competitors as double the points are on the line. So joining me now, Devin Bustard. Devin, you watched that first heat, you saw a really hard block, and then you saw a pretty nice block. So does that change anything you do out back before you come on?
You got to cut your own block. Every block's different. You got to see how the wood reacts. I knew I had to get that far chip out, and I was talking to Nathan off the stage. My first couple hits were a little too high, and so I kind of dog-legged myself on the back. I mean, it's not ideal. Thankfully, thank the Lord, it came off easy. It could have been a lot worse, but it's not good when your best event goes like that. But
so again, when you first opened up the block, I saw that your lines were drawn low. You hit about 2 inches higher than that, and at that point, you got to decide: am I going to go with this and adjust on the back, or do I drop it down? So, what was your decision and why?
never recut your wood. I already cut it, so I may as well just open higher and try to open a little to compensate on the back.
So you had to go even higher on the backside.
Yeah, and I already gave myself 4 inches of hinge wood on the back, just in case I did something like that, because I didn't know how hard the block was, how much slope I had to open up with. If I didn't lift that first chip out with my first hit, I was going to lay on the slope 60 degrees on my down hit, so I was going to open up a big chip. But 45 seemed to be okay.
Awesome. Well, that's a good chop. Great job here for Devin Bustard. He's got a time in the standing block chop. So he's got more points towards his overall total, and that's what matters here tonight, gaining points to the overall rookie championship.
All right, Rod, we're rolling on through and ready to go with heat number 3 of the standing block chop. On stand number 1, your reigning Canadian rookie champion, Matthew Budd.
And he's going to be chopping against Ethan Johnston all the way from Lindsay, Ontario.
You know, we talk about the confidence that comes off of running a good heat in your previous discipline. How about Matt Budd winning the stocks out with a heck of a time, 12 seconds flat.
Great job. That was a great job. He's used the exact same technique he used at the World, so it was a really impressive cut.
Yeah, it was a great cut. We got some times here in the standing block. Devin Bustard setting didn't set a new time to beat, but not a bad time, 59.95, just a hair under a minute. And Anthony McLean with a minute 20.94, so he's got a good time. But we've got 4 good choppers coming.
4 good choppers, and I'd say that this is likely all 4 of these competitors' best event.
Yeah, you bet.
So again, heat number...
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Matthew Budd on stand number 1. Ethan Johnson on stand number 2. Both guys wailing into this wood. See Matthew putting a lot of slope on this block, which is a smart move on a hard piece of wood. Ethan Johnson wailing in some big swings over there on stand 2 as they both put in drivers and they're around. Matthew Budd on side number 2. Ethan Johnson right behind him. We got a great race here. I'm sure Matthew was told out back to make sure you put a lot of slope on it, and he does it. Ethan Johnson sticking right with this hard block, and he's off as well.
Good couple of cuts. Matt Budd taking down the heat, probably setting a new time to beat, I would guess. Pretty good time. He was really into it.
Yeah, and again, hard blocks, but see what he did. Again, this comes with a little bit of experience, a lot of slope.
Huge slope.
And I'm sure the guys out back in the last heat were watching that, so.
And we have 2 good cuts.
Couple very good cuts there. Matt Budd, we're going to steal the reigning champ here for a minute. All right, gang, here with Matthew Budd. Matt, a beautiful cut there, lowering the time to beat. I don't know what the official time was, but you definitely lowered the time to beat. You cut it very well, cut with tons of slope. How did you find the block overall, and did you change your approach to chopping that log based on some of the wood you've been seeing chopped here today through the qualifier?
No, I just chop it the same way I planned on chopping it, and I put a big front in, and it was good wood there on the standing, and I didn't need a big back, and got to drive it off with a good time.
So tell me, your axe selection for a log like that, did you change that? Did you say, okay, well maybe a chisel or maybe a banana or anything like that? How did you decide on that?
Same axe, and you know it's a difference in the wood. You know that axe cut that block beautifully, and the other wood was just a little bit tougher.
Well, I'll tell you what, with 1 heat to go, leading the way in the standing block, that's huge points for you, pal. That's guaranteed at least 12 points in that event, possibly more, possibly as much as 16. What would it mean to you to take home a 2nd national title in the rookie division back-to-back?
I'm here to do the best I can, and wherever that puts me, I'll be happy.
All right, humble guy, doing great here at his 2nd national championship. Big hand for Matt Budd. Set a new time to beat. Where are we at, Rod?
Well, the time to beat in that we had at the start of that last heat was Logan Kennedy at 49 seconds. In this heat, though, Ethan Johnson lowered it. He went to 39.78, and Matthew Budd's time, the new time to beat, 32.56 seconds.
Oh, yeah. That's no joke. That's a good time in that wood, a very good time in that wood. That's going to be tough to beat.
It is, but we've got two guys that are capable of doing that in this next heat.
Yeah, you bet. But that guy's showing you. That's showing you what a national champion, what it takes.
Right.
He's been putting the time in, getting the training, going overseas, all that stuff.
Keep your resolve, keep your head, and just
looks
keep
great.
Right on. Keep on swinging hard. So
the slope is everything.
Slope mattered a lot, I thought, in that one. So there's I see a little bit of black over there on the far side of the stage in that block. See that right by the middle section, Scott?
Yeah.
Kind of
So that's Ethan Stretch's block.
See that?
Is that a knot?
I don't know if that's a knot or not. It is
a knot. Nathan Cumberland has given us a heads up.
And I can see Ethan out back also nodding, saying that is a knot. So this is again that adds another factor.
Yep.
It's right in the center of his block, so
Yep.
hopefully he gets a little bit above it, and it doesn't slow him down one bit.
So talk about, I mean, these guys are using high-end racing axes. What does a knot do if you hit that with an axe?
Okay, yeah, that's a great point. So these axes actually are 5-pound razor blades. People don't realize how sharp these are. They're not your Canadian Tire splitting maul. You can actually shave with these axes. So they're 5 pounds. They're precision finished. And if you hit something like a knot or any kind of steel, you'll ruin the edge. And these things will set you back $1,000.
You bet. Well, let's hope that's not the case on this next heat. And we're ready to go on stand number 1. Please welcome Jake Hewitt.
And on stand number 2, our point leader right now, Ethan Stretch.
I can be that guy.
I'd say he's winning the crowd.
I tell you, man, this guy he's a crowd favorite. I love it. Love having that guy.
Number 1 on the program and number 1 in their hearts right now.
Oh, yeah.
Ethan Stretch.
Yeah. Beloved.
This will be a great race.
Yep.
Both guys loving the standing block chop. Love the composure of Jake Hewitt. Cool and calm. Reminds me of someone.
Yeah. Yeah, Carl Bischoff. Yeah. Well, that's his granddad. No, he's definitely got the pedigree. And Ethan's been learning a lot from guys like Jeff Larkin. Again, another calm guy. And he's a pretty calm guy, too.
Yes.
I like the approach he brings.
Yep. Quality competitors.
Race.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, it looks like 2 good blocks here in the standing block chop in our last heat. Both competitors swinging hard and firm. Oh, Jake Hewitt around first. Little bit of a stumble, but right back up and swinging away. Ethan Stretch also right there with him. These are nice blocks. The time's going to go down in this heat. How about it? Ethan Stretch right with him. He wants to lower that time as well. There it is.
You betcha. The young phenom may have done it again, may have stolen another chop. But how about those cuts? How about both of those cuts wrapping up the standing block chop? How about a hand for all of our axemen here? How about that? Even with the slip and fall?
Exactly.
Just calm and cool.
That reminds me of someone else.
Me too. Ben Cumberland, Ben at Worlds. Where is Ben? How come every time we try to reach out to Ben, he's hiding out here?
I see him out back. He has his young fellow with him, so he is here. We'll try to grab him and haul him out, but...
And we have 2 good cuts.
All right. 2 great cuts. We're going to wait on some times for those. In the meantime, I'm going to grab the Jakester, the mini missile. Come on. Actually. All right. I'm going to grab Ethan Stretch here. Ethan, buddy, the crowd favorite. Hey, gang, I'm talking to your guy here. Right, exactly. Ethan, you've got I've never seen this response. I don't think at all the Stihl Timber Sports events I've been to, I've seen so many people behind one guy. What's going on here? Did you pay everybody off? What's happening?
Yeah, it cost me a lot of money, and I don't know how I'm going to pay it back, but appreciate you guys all for coming and all the support.
Middle Musquodoboit's finest right here. Ethan cut a pretty good block there. You happy with the stand and block overall? I mean, a couple of missed hits, but overall, I mean, you got through pretty good.
Yeah, I did mess up a little bit, Ryan. I really stepped up on my first face, and that led me to have a really hard time driving it off. And you kind of seen like me baseball swinging at the end to try to do everything I could to make the best out of a bad situation, but turned out blocks off, no DQs.
Axe was moving good. I think you chose the right axe for that log. Tell me now, we're moving into the single buck. How are you feeling about the single buck?
I'm super excited. Got a new saw, minimal cuts on it, but I'm confident with how it runs, and it should do great.
All right, this guy's been training hard in the barn. I know it. Give another hand for your man, Ethan Stretch, the hometown boy, AC's finest. We got to get some times there, I think.
I thought you'd be interested in the times, Ryan, and I want to say, so after Matthew Budd's chop, the time to beat, he lowered it to 32.56. Ethan Stretch at a time of 40.09, but Jake Hewitt, the young 18-year-old from Magna Bay, 27.43 seconds.
Are you kidding me?
That's a great time. With a slip and a fall on the stage.
Yeah, the mini missile just unbelievably blasting through these chops. That's two wins in 2 chops. There's only one more to happen. If he makes it through to that final round into the springboard, do you think he'll be confident on one board?
Well, typically he's chopping on the 3rd board high, so yeah, I'd say he's got all kinds of confidence.
Piece of cake.
So listen, things are starting to shake up here a little bit.
They are.
And of course, the other thing that's going to happen is after 4 events, the lowest 2 point getters don't get to go in the last event.
That's right. We drop 2. The 2 lowest points get cut. That's why this second round is so important.
This matters a lot, and things are starting to shake up here a little bit, so there's people on the move. In that last heat, Matthew Budd, 2nd place, so he gains himself 14 points.
You bet.
Which is really what the Canadian champion needs to kind of hang on to this.
Yep.
Jake Hewitt collecting another 16 points. He was in 2nd place.
Yeah, it moves him into 1st for sure.
That's going to move him up. So things are moving around here right now on the scoreboard.
Yep. I tell you, the way the rookie championship is now, especially with these double and triple point systems, you don't know what's going to happen. I'm telling you, you can try and pick it, but man, anything can happen. Look at this. We're seeing a sighting. It's a Ben Cumberland sighting. There he is.
It is.
I've spotted him from a distance. He's like a Sasquatch.
You know what? If you could get him up here and interview him, I could actually hold my grandson for a bit. How about that?
Well, we could make that happen.
That would work.
This poor guy. He's been hiding in the back deliberately. He's trying to get a break. If you don't have to chop a block today, Ben, then you at least have to talk on the mic. That's the rule.
So the reason we want to chat with Ben is we're hosting the Canadian Rookie Championships. Ben Cumberland actually won the Rookie Championship back in 2015 and then was the World Champion in 2016.
Yeah, up in the mountains.
So we could talk about that a little bit and what these guys have to look forward to.
We could talk about that, couldn't we, Ben? Stop hiding behind people in front of you. You're a large man. You're a lumberjack. I can see your shoulders from 9 people away. Now, we'll give Ben a break. He's trying to have a nice, relaxing time. So, pretty close race, as he said. Things are really shaping up.
Things are tightening up.
And look at that. It is an absolute dogfight for 2nd place. We have 3 guys
all
tied
within a point.
Within a point. Matt Budd and the 2 Ethans are within a point for 2nd place right now, with Jake out in front by a few points. But, I mean, it's so close. You're going into the single buck.
Let's talk about single buck. So we know Jake Hewitt is phenomenal with an axe, just like his father. But what's his father's Achilles heel?
It is the single buck.
It is the single buck. So guess what? This event could be very, very critical in how things shape up for the Canadian Championship.
I'm interested to see how it goes. I was talking to Jake yesterday. I said, what's going on with the single buck? He said, well, I spent I spent last weekend with Sterling Hart. Did a little training. Oh, really? Did you now? Oh, you mean the fella that has one of the records in the single? Yeah, no, okay. All right, fair enough. We'll see. Oh, boy. I love it. I love the Rookie Championship. What a great event.
So again, the single buck. We have the best single buckers in the world in the East. So a lot of these guys have access to them. We know Jeff Larkin, we saw him rip off a beautiful cut earlier today in the Eastern Qualifiers. He's been training Ethan Stretch.
Yep.
And then, of course, we know Matthew Budd. He's been hanging around with the Cumberland boys. And
so what are we going to be seeing in this event, Rod, exactly with the single buck?
Well, it's a one-man crosscut saw. So they have the old-fashioned crosscut saw with a handle on just one end. They run that back and forth. They get a little bit of a starter cut, so 12 inches of wood. They actually sink the blade in a little bit to keep the saw solid.
Okay.
And then on the word go, they've got to run that misery whip back and forth through the thick part of the wood, and then, of course, at the end, drive it off. Fastest time wins.
And why do they call it a misery whip, Rod?
Oh, because it inflicts a lot of misery on its operators.
Yeah, but mostly to guys like you and me who never quite mastered that one.
I agree. I agree.
I like the chopping events.
I would agree with that.
However, I do appreciate a good singles buck cut. I appreciate watching it, watching people that know how to do it well.
And we saw
because it is challenging.
We saw some great cuts today in the men's and women's division.
Nathan, Marcel, George, Jeff. All right, we're ready to go in our first heat of the single buck for the Rookie Canadian Championship. Please welcome back to the stage on stand number 1, Richard Langell.
And taking him on in this heat, his favorite event, Logan Kennedy.
He told me after the standing block he was itching for the single buck.
He actually has won the single buck a lot in SELA this year.
Okay.
It's his event.
Okay.
He does love it. He knows how to run that saw really well.
I feel like Richard has had quite a bit of success in SELA as well through the AC running the single buck. This could be a really close race.
Great race. It'll be a great race.
Canadian Intercollegiate Lumberjacking Association. Basically the double A system, really, for the pros. I mean, that's the feeder system.
Exactly right.
30 seconds.
You'll also notice, Ryan, that they're wearing cleats on their feet.
Yeah, what's that for, Rod?
Well, the single buck takes your legs are used a lot in this event. They generate a lot of power off their legs. And of course, those cleats, those metal cleats sticking to the stage, gives them that really solid footing to allow them to generate the power they need to move these saws back and forth.
Yeah, power being the key word on that, on those saws for sure.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Two quite different techniques that we're seeing here. Logan Kennedy using nice long strokes. Richard Langell also really turning it on here as he gets into the big wood. We've got a great race here going. Oh, as Richard has a bit of a hang, but Logan Kennedy, what about that?
What a race. Boy, back and forth.
It was an awesome race for the lead. A little bit of struggle over here on bench number 1, that last little
a couple
piece.
hangs.
It looked like they came off at the same time, but Richard had a little piece to go back for. But, man, he took that off fast.
I think that saw was just moving a bit more wood. It looked like Logan his strokes were up. It was a pretty clean cut. No real flaws there in this cut, but I think Richard's saw seemed to be dropping a little faster.
Yep.
We've got 2 good cuts.
All right, we're going to grab Richard Langell, have a little chat with him after that beautiful cut. All right, gang. First time chatting with Richard Langell. How about a hand for this guy? AC in the house. How'd it feel, buddy? First time the STIHL Timbersports stage. First big single buck cut in the STIHL Timbersports stage. I know you love the single buck. I've seen you cut it before. How'd you feel?
I felt good. Like, a lot to work on, but it's a learning experience.
That saw was eating the wood. I loved it. It was really dropping well. Yeah, a little hang at the bottom, but overall, I thought you cut it pretty well. Did you feel comfortable in the cut?
Oh, yes, it felt really good. I kind of got hungry at the end, tried to drive it too early. It fetched me up.
Hey, I know where you learned that one. I know about, putting the weight and driving that sucker off. Listen, you're back in the mix now. You put in a good single buck cut. If you make it through to the springboard. You've been training the springboard?
Yes, I have been.
How are you feeling about that event?
So-so. It's quite an event.
So-so. That's I think most of us feel so-so about the springboard. We can't all be Mitch-Hewitt. Hey, listen, great job. Big hand for Richard Langell out here putting in some times. Well done, pal.
Well, Ryan, we have the official times in right now. And just so they know, the record right now in Canada is actually held by Matthew Budd at 13.14 seconds. In that last heat, Richard Langell had a time of 18.16, and Logan Kennedy 17.8, so that is now the official time to beat.
You bet. And let's see if these next two guys can do it on stand number 1, Anthony McLean.
And on stand number 2, Devin Bustard.
Oh, boy. These boys are walking in on the lily pads.
Again, that's to keep their cleats nice and sharp. They don't want to walk on the concrete. It dulls the points really quickly. So
yeah, it's quite funny actually to see this go because it goes way off into the back, into their area. I don't know how far it disappears into there, but it's actually quite ridiculous. I've never seen anything quite like this. So
17.8, time to beat.
17.8.
Actually, I saw Anthony McLean saw the single buck in the
30 seconds
STIHL challenge, and
okay.
he did a great job running the single buck saw. And I know Devin's been working on his as well.
Okay.
So
it's a tough event.
It is a tough event.
You can put in so much time, and then on the day, one little hang. It's just such a finicky event. There's so much technical things going on, almost like that what we talked about the stock saw, where it looks like it would be easier than it is. I think everyone looks at the chopping events and say, oh man, that's difficult. But they look at these ones, they seem a little simpler, but oh my goodness, there's so much going on.
Here we go.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
A little bit of a bobble on stand number 1, but Devin Bustard rolling really smoothly. But look at the fierce pace on stand number 1. Anthony McLean giving it everything he has, and it's off.
Well, he drove that off. I think I'd like to see a slow-mo of that because I think it came back and he punched it actually forward with his hand as he finished the cut.
Well, that's seeing brute strength get that block on the ground, I'll tell you that.
He was cutting it so level, too. It was almost like a cross cut. And then when he finished, he came through. I'd love to see that in slow-mo because it looked like he punched that cookie straight forward. I can see his knuckles, actually.
And we have 2 good cuts.
Anthony McLean taking down that heat. How about a big hand for this guy? Speaking of hands, let me see that knuckle. Did you punch that cookie as it came off?
Yeah, I did a little bit. Yeah.
See, I'll tell you, you gotta be watching for these things. So, overall, boy, you were motoring through that log. I think it was a pretty smooth cut overall. In general, you really drove off a ton of wood. How'd you feel about the cut?
It went pretty well. It was going really good, and then my foot slipped out. I got reset and then hung up once, but other than that, it was a good cut. Yeah.
Anthony, you've been running good today. Having a pretty good day overall. What would it mean to you to make it through to that final round in the springboard chop?
It'd be really exciting. Yeah, be a goal to make it there for sure.
All right, big hand for this guy, Anthony McLean. He's going to go lick his wounds. I don't think I've ever seen anybody punch the cookie forward.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, it was like Super Mario Brothers. He like hits that and the coins come out.
So listen, the times are in that last heat.
Oh, yeah?
We had Devin Bustard with a time of 21.52 seconds. Yep. And now the new time to beat by Anthony McLean, 15.19 seconds.
See, this is it. He knew, so he just, mid-stroke, he just did a fist pump. That was it. He knew he had the time to beat, so. And we're ready to go in their third heat of the single buck. Please welcome back up to the stage on stand number 1, Matthew Budd.
And from Lindsay, Ontario, Ethan Johnston.
Matthew's been cutting good singles. Just came back from Worlds.
He does. He has a beautiful saw, brand new saw.
Yep.
Recently filed by J.P. Mercier, so we know the saw is perfectly capable of setting a great time in this.
Yep. All these times are pretty close together, really, within a few seconds.
Yep. Consistent wood.
I would say it's
good saws.
pretty much a toss-up. You know, whoever has the best, smoothest cut's probably going to come out on top. And that last time, I mean, Anthony could take it.
Still room to lower the time because
Yeah,
again
you bet.
he had a couple of slips
30 seconds.
You're right.
And his saw stuck once. So again, we know there can be a faster time, but even still, that was a good time. So third heat in the rookie single buck.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Little bit of a struggle on stand number one. Ethan Johnson into the big wood already doing a great job, nice and smooth. Matthew Budd catching up though here, coming from behind. His saw is sinking, but Ethan's pulling it through, and Ethan Johnston, the first one off. Little bit of a struggle there at the end by Matthew Budd.
We've got 2 good cuts.
Two good cuts in this single buck in that last heat. Ethan Johnston, come on over. So Ethan, a couple things here. Number one, all the guys are coming out, stepping on the lily pads, and you're coming out here with flat shoes. You do a great job here in the single buck. So tell me a little bit about that. Did the shoes affect you at all?
Honestly, the grip for me wasn't a huge issue. I've always sawn in flat shoes. If it's grass, I'll do cleats, rugby cleats, but I've never sawn in corks, and I like it that way, and it works well for me.
So how'd that cut go for you? I didn't see any hangs.
Yeah, traditionally I'm pretty notorious for hanging up in the bottom third. That's usually where I get hung up, so I didn't get hung up there, and pretty happy about that. Try to keep it nice smooth pulls, and nice long stroke. So
Great job. Well, that was a good cut. Congratulations, and we'll see where you hang here after the last 2 heats.
Thanks, Rod.
Take care. So, wow, that was a nice, smooth cut by Ethan in that heat. We're going to wait here and see if he has lowered the time to beat as we get ready for our last heat in the rookie divisions, single buck. Little bit of wiggle room still here to have a good cut. And, of course, coming up, we're going to have Ethan Stretch, who loves this event. Great single buck cutter.
Yeah, and Jake Hewitt. We'll see how he cuts. I mean, you never know. But again,
room.
like these times they're pretty close.
He just has to be in the mix of it.
Yep. All right, we're ready to go in our final heat of the single buck. And then we'll be cutting 2 athletes after this one. So, on stand number 1, please welcome back Jake Hewitt.
And on stand 2, your local favorite, Ethan Stretch.
Woo! Holy cow, man. This place is electric with Ethan Stretch fans. He said he paid to get them here. But he also, I feel like he didn't pay. I feel like he committed to pay, but now
he's got to come.
Well,
good
he's got
for
to
it.
win. He's got to win. He's got to win the prize purse to be able to pay off all these.
That'd be the easiest and slickest way to actually pay them back.
It would be, yeah. Just win it all. Yeah.
Well, he's well on his way. He's doing a great job here.
He is doing a great job, yep.
Needs a couple more consistent finishes. Things are starting to really get interesting in this overall.
30 seconds.
Yeah, man, oh man. Tell you, the rookie championship. We're rolling through here, Rod. This is our fourth event. There's only one discipline left.
One more
and
left.
We're cutting two.
It's the
after
biggie.
this one.
It's the biggie, the springboard.
You bet. The fan favorite. Jake on 1, Ethan on 2. I know Ethan loves this event. We're going to see how Jake Hewitt does.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Ready on go. Nice smooth pulls there from Jake on 1. Ethan's right with him. Ethan saw is loving this wood. It's dropping faster, longer strokes, but Jake's putting in a good cut too. This is a close race. Both these guys are getting into the bottom wood here. Who's going to take it? Oh my goodness! What a finish! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Did we not give this kid credit? 18 years old, keeping up with the top dogs here. What a race that was.
Great cut by Jake Hewitt.
Woo!
That was a photo finish with
yeah.
Ethan Stretch. Anytime you come off close with Ethan Stretch, you're doing a good job.
And we've got 2 good cuts.
Rod, I'm going to talk with both these guys.
I don't blame you.
Because who knows who won that? Nobody knows.
It's a photo
Ethan,
finish.
Come on over here. Jake, you let Big Bill look after that saw for you. He's your grunt for the day. You come over here with me. Uncle Bill can look after that. All right, both of you come over here. All right, gang. Jake Hewitt, Ethan Stretch. How about these two? Head to head in the single buck. Great cut, guys. Jake, I'm going to talk to you first. Real smooth run there. Are you used to that saw? Have you run that saw much?
Not a whole lot. It's my old man, so trained with it a few times, but just tried to make a smooth cut.
Says it's his old man's. That's Mitch's saw. I've never seen it run quite that smooth, Rod, but the man behind it knows what he's doing. Great job, Jake. Beautiful cut there. Real good time, and you guys came off bang, bang. Both of you hit the deck at the exact same time. I have no clue who won it. Very close. Maybe we'll see a tie like we did in the stock saw. Ethan, how'd you feel about that cut overall? The saw really seemed to like the woods, very hungry. A couple hangs there. How did you feel about it overall?
It was really hungry. It really liked that West Coast pine. A lot different than what I was trading with in the barn. It's really, really hungry, and any little mistake I made, it was there to call my bluff on it. So it would always like a better time, but don't we all?
Yeah, no kidding. There's always things to improve on. Gentlemen, I'm going to say pretty confidently that you're both moving on to round number 3, where it's going to be triple points in the springboard. First to you, Ethan. How are you feeling about the springboard chop?
Oh, I'm always nervous about springboard. It's not my thing, but I've been training it a lot. We'll see if that pays off. Hopefully it does. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right. Ethan's feeling a little shaky in the springboard, but he's going to settle out. He's having a great day here. Jake, I know you're no stranger to the springboard. You've been cutting them for a little while. This is a triple points event. What would it mean to you to take down the springboard and possibly take home a rookie championship?
Yeah, it mean a really lot. Mean a lot to me to go over next year and represent my country, and so I'm really looking forward for the springboard.
All right, big hand for both these guys. Jake Hewitt, Ethan Stretch, running great here today in Truro. Canadian Championships, you're seeing the best of the best from across the country. And we have one event left. One event left.
Ryan, get over here and look at, man, these last 2 events have shaken things up for the overall.
Oh boy.
Shaken things, because actually those last 2 times, unofficially I had them at 20 seconds. And we know most of the times before that were actually faster.
Right.
So in that last heat, let's look at the points in single buck. First place in the single buck, Ethan Johnston from Ontario, taking 16 points.
15.15. What a run.
Second
Beauty cut.
place, Anthony McLean.
Oh, right.
Second place in the single buck.
15.19. 4/100ths of a second slower. That's a heck of a run. How about a hand for those guys, Anthony and Ethan? Well done, gentlemen.
Third place, Logan Kennedy. So guys that were low in the points,
That's
grabbing
right.
a ton of points here in the single buck.
Yep.
Fourth place, Richard Langell, another 10 points.
Yep. Good for him.
So, wow, let's look at how that affected the overall. Right now, actually, we should probably say who's not moving on.
Yeah. It's always a tough part of the competition when you're cutting the bottom two guys, but we do have to say goodbye to our two bottom two with 10 points. Richard Langell, fortunately, going home in 8th place. And in 7th place with 16 points, Devin Bustard. They're going home. They're not moving on to the Springboard Chop. So our top 6, Rod, who do we have?
Look at this. With 24 points, the young gun from just outside of Sussex, New Brunswick, Anthony McLean.
Moving on.
With one more point, 25 points, Logan Kennedy.
You bet.
With 31 points, last year's champion, Matthew Budd.
Oh, my goodness. And it's
1 point more with 32 points, Ethan Stretch.
Oh, boy.
In second place, going into the Springboard Chop at 33 points, Jake Hewitt.
Ooh.
And your new leader, Ethan Johnston from Lindsay, Ontario.
40 points with one event to go and a possible, again, triple points with 6 competitors, 18 points to win the Springboard Chop. That throws this all over the place. All over the place. And we're ready to throw out a little bit of swag. We got our head judge, Jonathan the Muscle Russell wants to throw out some shirts. Use those big arms of yours. Chuck some of those in the back to the crowd. Put your hands up. Who wants a shirt? We got a few. Oh, my God. I told you he's the muscle. He's throwing strikes over here. Throw a few change-ups. We don't want to injure people. Oh, come on, Josh. Nothing in the rafters. Oh, it wasn't Josh. All right. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Folks, you're soon to be witnessing the crowning of a national champion. We're down to 6 competitors. That's it. And it's a horse race. Who is going to take this? Ethan Johnston leading the way. We got some Boston Pizza beach balls. Who wants a beach ball? It's raining enough outside that it's like being at the beach. Oh, nice throw. Josh nails it. That's a home run. Yeah, our screen is doing all kinds of funky things. Yeah.
Wow, so the points have really shuffled around in that last heat. Look, hey, I see someone over here, buddy.
Hey, Ben Cumberland, how are you doing? Oh, it's good to see you, buddy. All right, come on out here for a minute. We're going to have a little chat. See, now, the trick, Ben, is to always stay slightly out of view because otherwise, one of us will spot you. So come on up here with us for a minute. We got a couple of minutes. They're getting ready for the Springboard Chop, so we're going to have a quick word. Folks, I'm going to introduce you to Ben Cumberland. He is the reigning national champion in the pro division. He is the world record holder in the single buck, world record. And he's also a former Canadian and world champion in the rookie division. Ben, you've been through this event before. You blasted through this years ago before coming up to the pros. Tell us a little bit about what the rookie division is and what you think it means to the STIHL Timbersports series as a whole.
Well, these are the breeding grounds for the professional division, and we're seeing a lot of talent here today that just shows that there's a pretty good future for the Canadian STIHL Timbersports series.
Yeah, I mean, these guys that are coming through and blasting through single bucks and stock saws, Matt Budd, you know him very well, and the Ethans and Jake and all these guys, I feel the same way. Like it to me, you see these guys and it feels like, okay, the sport's in pretty good shape. We've got some really good talent coming up. What stands out to you on a day like this? You've seen all these events, you've been watching all these happening. What are the things that trigger you to think, okay, this is a guy we got to keep an eye out on?
Well, I mean, obviously we've had a pretty decent shakeup in the second round, which I'm not familiar with. I went through the rookie division before. There was no springboard, no one-board springboard, and there were no rounds. So it's just kind of, it's just single points the whole way through. But yeah, like Ethan Johnson in the single buck, and then Anthony, like, man, those are fantastic cuts. And Jake taking a tumble in the standing block, I feel that. Like, I know what it feels like, literally and figuratively. But yeah, Jake's chopping really, really well. The guys have been throwing some curveballs just with different things in each event, and they've all handled it really well. There's a lot of composure among the rookies, and there's a lot of that has to do with the colleges, both on the east and west. And there's a lot of guys that are competing because of family as well. So it's just awesome to watch.
Well, listen, guys, we're going to let Ben get back to his family. We fought all day to pull him in here. We waited till the very last event and didn't give him a chance in it. Thanks so much, Ben. Great to have you here. We're looking forward to seeing Ben Cumberland defend his title in Kelowna, British Columbia in August. If you can't be there, you can watch it all on our live stream on YouTube, and you can watch it on TSN later this year. Ben, thanks so much. Great to see you, pal.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Big hand for Ben Cumberland. Again, the world record holder in the single buck. Nobody on the planet, period, ever has cut that event faster than that man did last year in Chilliwack, British Columbia at the Canadian Championships. We have the best single buckers in the world, in Canada. You just saw one of them. Unbelievable.
So Ryan, let's talk a little bit more, because I'm not sure people realize and recognize how exciting this finish is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
But we have our first place holder right now. Ethan Johnson has 40 points.
Oh, yeah.
And we know they get triple points. So the winner's going to get 18 points in this round.
Oh, yeah.
But the second place guy gets
15
points.
Yep. Oh, right.
Then the third place gets 12 points. So we've got a guy in the lead with 40 points. We know the missile, Mitch the Missile Hewitt, his young fellow, who's really good at springboard.
Oh, yeah.
And we may actually see that record fall here today.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting with 33 points. So he's 7 points back.
Yeah, 18 will do it.
18 will do it.
Unless Ethan takes second.
If Ethan takes second or third,
he's got it.
He's got it.
Wow.
But there's also other guys in striking distance with Ethan Stretch and Matthew Budd, both with 32 and 31 points.
Wow, this is an absolute horse race right now.
So this is actually, it really comes down
and
to
we're at the horse
chop.
track. I just put that together. See that? It took all day. It literally took 50 chops.
Photo finish, like we've been doing that all day long, but people just haven't been cluing in.
That's right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, I figured it out hours ago. Yep. Folks, we're getting ready to wrap things up. We got a little bit of springboard chopping, but the night's not over. We've got a beer garden. We got music. We're going to have a great night here. No one's going anywhere. We're going to shut all the doors, actually, so no one can leave, and then we're just going to hang out here and all hang out and have a great time. Ben Cumberland's going to go around and interview everybody. That's what he wanted to do tonight, I'm pretty sure. I think he told me. So what's the difference with the springboard? Talk us through the springboard chop, Rod.
Okay, well, the springboard chop actually, we used to say it originated on the West Coast, but actually started on the East Coast. So back in the day when a tree was growing, especially on the West Coast, it had a large butt flare.
Yeah.
So
almost like the stands.
It was a long ways through the tree at the very bottom. So what the loggers wanted to do was get up a little bit in height and saw that same big tree down with a lot less wood at the bottom.
Right.
So they'd chop a notch, put a springboard in, and actually the other thing about a springboard, it's a wooden board, but on the very tip of it is it's a metal shoe.
Right.
And it's got a little curl, it's got a sharp edge, and once you poke that pocket into the tree, you slam that springboard at the back of the pocket, and that sharpened edge holds that board.
So that's all. That's all that's holding you in the tree.
That's it.
Not much.
So then you're tree surfing.
Then you're tree surfing.
So once you get up one board,
It really does spring.
It does.
It really
spring.
does bounce when you're up there.
And and there's two things here. There's two things you want to watch for. Number one is a sagging board.
Right.
So if your board goes in and starts sagging down, then you have to creep in closer to the tree and you arm chop.
I'm the tree in this scenario.
And then the opposite is,
Yes.
if your pocket is too deep and your board sits too high, your back legs up, you can't get any power to swing.
Right. Again, I'm the tree.
Oh, can I start chopping?
Yes. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah.
So really, it's a very technical event.
Right.
It's probably the longest event that they'll do.
Yep.
But at the rookie level, just to give them some practice, they actually do a one-board springboard. So what they're going to do, they're going to clean a spot on the tree where they want to put their notch. The ideal notch, and I'm not sure whether anyone has ever watched Mitch Hewitt, which is Jake's dad, but when he does springboard pocket, just bunk, 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 4 swings, axe is up, board's in, he's up. Now, we see that very seldom here on the East Coast.
Oh,
because
yeah.
It's not our forte.
No.
But again, a lot of these guys, that's what they're going for. 6 or 8 hits is good.
Yep.
And then insert your board. Now, the Canadian record, actually, we should check what that Canadian record is
It's in
right
the 40s, I think.
I'm thinking it's around 48 seconds.
Yeah.
48:03.
I think Matthew said it last year in Kelowna. Or not Kelowna, Kitchener.
In Kitchener, Ontario.
I think it's in the 40s.
Springboard, 1:06.
Oh.
1:06
Oh.
is a springboard, one-board record.
Well,
I predict.
Yeah.
I predict
I'm not
that
putting
record
money
is
against
under
your prediction.
assault here tonight.
Yeah, no, that will drop.
I think this record will drop before
Twice.
the last heat.
I think so too, yeah.
That's my
I agree.
prediction.
Yep.
I think
Yep.
it'll drop it may even drop in the first heat.
It might.
But
Well,
then
there's only 3 heats.
The second heat and the third heat, definitely.
Yeah, and the thing you got to remember too, in order to get here, they had to get through 2 chops. These are people that they're getting comfortable with an axe. And yeah, springboard it's an incredibly difficult event. I love that we've introduced it to the rookie series as the one board, because even if you don't cut a great pocket, you get up on there. If it sags a bit, you can still kind of get away with it. You don't want to get 2 bad habits, but you can. When you jump into 2 boards high, and those boards really start, and that's what we do in the pro series, you get up there and that board starts sagging, boy. All of a sudden you're 6, 8, 9 feet off the ground, and things start feeling a little shaky. So I think it's a great way to introducing this to the rookie series, and I love to see it. So tell us a little bit about Rod. You've gone overseas. You've coached the rookies in the past and gone to the World Championships with them. You just came back from Italy, right?
Correct, Milan, Italy.
So what's that like? What's that experience like? What can our future champion expect with one of these overseas trips to the World Championships in the rookie division?
Well, actually, the STIHL Germany is the big engine behind that, and STIHL Timbersports in Europe, they're promoting it as an extreme sport. They're fanatical in Europe. I mean, our crowd here tonight is pretty good.
Oh yeah, we got
but
a great
I'll tell
crowd.
You, they're fanatical in Europe, so they love this sport. They always hold it at a big venue. It's a beautiful place. Typically, we're always somewhere that's got an awesome venue, and of course, it's great experience for the young competitors.
Yeah.
So they get here on this day. You think this is a big stage. Wait till you get to Europe and you're standing there in front of, almost 1,000 people.
Right.
So, and then there's all the best in the world.
So one rep from each country.
From every country. So it's a really great experience. Now, this year we were able to actually get a little bit of training time in.
Oh, great.
So the big thing is you fly to Europe, you're now 5 hours out of your regular time zone. You've got to get over jet lag. So the good thing was we were able to train in Switzerland this year, get some of the cobwebs out, get them acclimatized to the time difference. And then, of course, we drove down to Milan and competed there. And actually, Matthew Budd had a really good showing. He was in first place.
He ran great.
First place after the first 2 events.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So Canada was in the lead. Then the next 2 events, we slipped a little bit, but he wound up 4th just off the podium. So great experience. But I mean, I've been very blessed and fortunate to be able to go over there. The first year we went, the first year they held a Rookie World Championship was in 2015. And I got there because my son Nathan was the Canadian champion.
Yeah.
So it was awesome to be able to go there with him. He did do phenomenally well.
Won the World Championship.
Won the World Championship. So
no big deal. Just won a World Championship, as you do,
so
one does.
The next year,
yeah,
his older brother. So the thing was,
there he is.
There
he is right there. It's Ben Cumberland.
So things usually go from the oldest to the youngest, but all of a sudden the youngest guy winds up going to the World. So now his older brother's going the next year.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about pressure.
Yeah.
And there was really a lot of pressure up until about 3 weeks before he left. He hurt his back. So then Ben didn't train at all until we actually got over there. So huge amount of pressure to actually perform. But he also did well, won the Worlds. So 2 world champions in a row, and both from Canada.
Nice.
So then the third year, we took George Williams, who we saw earlier today.
Yeah.
And George went over, and he was 1 point
I
away
know.
from
He
the
did
gold.
so well, too, yeah.
He took the bronze.
Yep.
So now Canada is a force to be reckoned with in the rookie division.
Oh,
So
yeah, big time. Yep.
we've had a lot of fun over there. We've done very well. And, of course, all those competitors are competing here now in the pro division.
Yeah.
So that's the whole goal.
You saw it. I mean, you saw that our entire string of Canadian champions in the rookie division have now made it through to the pro division.
That's
right.
right.
Every
Connor
single one
Morse.
is working their way through. They were here today.
Turbo.
Thomas Henderson, Connor Morse, Thean Carmen. I might add as well, those are all AC grads. There's a string of them. With George Williams, he went to the MCFT and UNB. Ben went through MCFT. I don't necessarily credit his pedigree to MCFT like I might for George. Just a little bit different background. But no, but I mean, it's we've talked about it all day. When it comes to the rookie series, when it comes to Steel Timber Sports in Canada, the Canadian Intercollegiate Lumberjacking Association, the AC, UNB, MCFT, Fleming, McGill, these are schools that are producing the talent that we're seeing here. We saw it in the men's division, the women's division, the rookie division.
Yeah,
we're seeing it on the world stage.
So let's give a shout out then to guys like Scotty Reed, Jeff Larkin, Al Cavers, right? How about a big round of applause for those guys? Those are the guys, the coaches that are putting the time and effort in at the collegiate level to bring these young competitors up through the ranks, and that's why we're seeing them perform as well as they are here tonight. So big hats off to those guys for all that they do.
Yeah, you're bad. Rod, we're getting the finishing touches on these logs. So they're going to fasten a couple of chopping blocks to the top of these poles. Then they're going to jump up here and on go. They're going to cut a notch into the tree, throw a board in, jump on, cut that log up top. Piece of cake. Super easy, of course. This is the most challenging. Basically, what we're seeing is the standing block chop while balancing on a board that's held into a tree with a piece of metal about this big.
Hey, you're right on the money.
Yeah, easy. Easy. So remember when we saw the standing block and we thought, well, that looks challenging. Imagine that, but several feet off the ground, and now you're also bouncing and flexing on a board that's barely hanging from a pole. Great. I love it.
So 3 heats to come in the springboard chop before we crown our Canadian champion for 2024. We've seen some great races so far, some awesome finishes in the axe and saw divisions. Jake Hewitt winning 2 of the 3 chopping events thus far. Youngest competitor here tonight. All the way from Magna Bay, British Columbia. This is being live streamed tonight. I'm sure that the Bischoffs and Hewitts on the West Coast are tuned in and watching with pride as Jake's doing very well here tonight. And also as predicted, the guys that were 24, 25 years old, this is their last kick at the can. So Ethan Stretch and Ethan Johnson, big hats off to those guys. This is their last kick at the can, and they're doing a phenomenal job, making a good run of it here. Ethan Stretch in striking distance for the overall, and Ethan Johnson right now holding down first place. So everything looking good for those guys. The young guns up and coming. Anthony McLean, Logan Kennedy. Showing there are no slouches at all in the rookie division. They still have years ahead of them. So also looking very, very promising. And also Devin Bustard and Matthew Budd. Also within striking distance for the overall. So now they're going to set their blocks on, make sure they're headed in the direction they'd like.
This, yeah, we lost it again. It's a couple of grown men trying to run an iPad. It's a sad state of affairs. Doing a bit of mental math, Rod. If you look at the points race right now, let's assume that who we think is going to take down the springboard does take it down. That's 18 points, moves him into first place in points. But with the 7-point spread, that creates an opportunity where if Ethan Johnston can finish in the top 3, doesn't have to win it, which is very possible.
Exactly.
Then he's taking home a national championship.
Exactly right.
And I bet you he knows that. I bet you he's doing the math too. I think all these guys are doing the math. And then you got Matthew Budd nipping at the heels. Who cut an amazing springboard last year, and this is his first time in it. I think there's a mix there too. Like, oh man.
And that's assuming that who we think finishes number 1.
Yeah, which might not happen.
If something goes sideways at all of a sudden then the guys that are all within 1 point that are sitting second, third, and fourth.
Yeah, it's going to be who knows
exciting.
what the podium. I don't know what this podium is going to look like.
It's exciting.
Yeah, I love it. 7 points, that's enough. It's the double, triple points thing. That's it.
Can't say I love it, but it's the reality that we live in.
It definitely adds a level of
uncertainty.
Uncertainty. Yeah, chaos.
Oh, that's another good one.
Yeah, it adds a bit of chaos. Yeah, that's great. What do you think, Truro? You're watching the national championships. What do you think? Is this great? This is amazing. Ethan Johnston setting up his log. That looks like an 11-inch log.
It's a pretty good sized piece of wood.
So that is the same size log that they chop in the Pro Series.
Yes.
That's no joke.
Nope.
There's a lot of cutting to do up there.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, and if you don't put a good board in, and you try to chop that on a poor board, you're going to be in for a tough go.
It changes everything. You're right on the money. Changes everything.
I've done poorly on many boards, Rod. I can tell you. It's not fun.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah, I am speaking from experience. I think I have the longest cumulative time cutting springboard in the STIHL Timbersport Series in Canada by simply maxing out at 3 minutes every single time. Yeah. I was just trying to expand the time on the stage. You know, I really wanted to sook it all in.
Good thinking. Well,
yeah.
It's a great experience.
It's a bit selfish, I'll admit it. But, you know, at the end of the day, I had a great view. And, you know, I really enjoyed the moment. Not so much the end of the moment. Not that whistle.
Well, no, typically, though, when you finish at the end, you get the largest cheer.
Yeah, the problem with that, Rod, is when you don't finish at the end and they just blow the whistle and tell you to please stop doing what you're doing.
And you have to hang your head and walk off the stage.
Yeah, or bounce down off of 2 springboards and then sadly walk off. It's not a great feeling.
I'm really glad to say I haven't experienced that.
Oh, okay. Oh, great.
However, last year at the Champions Trophy, I got the whistle. I had a block from the petrified forest. It took me over a minute to chop through it.
I remember that.
We've got the whistle, and I know that feeling, I guess. I do.
Yeah. Please stand down is not a great feeling. Oh, boy, the old springboard chop.
So again, the time that we are predicting will fall is 1 minute, 6 seconds, held currently by Matthew Budd, our reigning Canadian champion.
Yeah. Beatable.
Sitting
Very
in,
beatable.
He's right now sitting in 4th place.
Yep.
Ethan Stretch sitting in 3rd.
He's in striking distance. These guys, so this is the thing. Ethan Johnston is at the top. He's 7 points up. So if he gets a clean time, and it's basically within the top 4, He's beating these guys out, right? 18 points. If he gets a slow time, then you have a real dogfight, horse race, for the top spot with those next guys, Ethan Stretch, Matthew Budd, Jay Hewitt. If any one of these guys DQs, it just throws the whole thing off. Or if somebody like maybe Logan Kennedy slides in there with a rip and cut, all of a sudden he's up there, 18 points. It's a huge jump, right? And it shifts everybody around. So very hard one to pick. I think everybody's in the mix. Anthony McLean, after that rip and single buck cut, good on him, eh? 15-19, great cut.
First time on the steel stage, doing a great job. Actually, he's made up some ground in the standing block chop and the single buck.
Yep.
So you're never out.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're never out of
out.
the mix. Yep. Hey, how about a shout out to Boston Pizza, title sponsor of the Steel Timber Sports Series. Be sure to go over to Boston Pizza and enter to win a whole pile of Steel Timber Sports battery products, chainsaws, trimmers, everything. You go there, eat there, win a bunch of stuff there. That's how we do things, Rod.
Also like to mention some of the other sponsors, Ryan. Hubcraft, Timber Mart, Canton Cart, Sales and Repair, LibCan, Properties Restoration and Contracting, the Truro Volunteer Fire Brigade.
Hey, shout out to them.
Who else do we have as major sponsors here tonight?
We've got ASF Printing, Irving Woodlands, EcoFan, Toyo Tires, and Tattamagush Brewing Company. We call them Tata Brew. They're in the back. They're serving up some cold stuff, probably close to being sold out. If I were on your side of the barricade and weren't being paid to work in this moment, I would be back there. I would. Don't you give me that look. Telling you, this is a great spot. This is a great location for this. I know, like, we could be outside. Up until yesterday at noon, this was going to be outside. And then we had an executive decision to move things inside, and I think it was the right one. What a great event. What a great event.
I would say a big shout out to Kevin Bushy is in order, because I'm sure he had something to do with that. He's a VP of Major Events and Hospitality with the Central Nova Scotia Sports and Entertainment at the Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition Complex right here in Bible Hill. So I'm sure he had a lot to do with it. I'd like to give him a shout out.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. We're very fortunate. Turo's been incredibly welcoming. This is the thing. So I lived in Truro for 10 years. I hosted a lumberjack competition here in Truro. Some of you may have been to there. Nova Scotia Lumberjack Championships actually taking place Middle Musquodoboit later this fall with Jeff Larkin and Scott Reed. We're going to have this exact same stage set up. It's a great community for hosting a timber sports event because this crowd, they know this sport.
Exactly.
They either went to the AC, they know somebody that went to the AC, they were on the Woodsman team, they've watched the Woodsman team, they've been at the McMillan Show Center probably 30 times watching Woodsman, timber sports, over at the Woodlot. It's a great community. People know the sport. I love hosting here. I love coming here. It's awesome to see the Steel Timber Sports Series in Truro, a national championship being awarded here, and I really hope we're back again next year. So if you enjoy what you're seeing here, make sure you tell everybody in town we want Steel Timber Sports back in Truro in 2025. We'll try and make it happen. I want to give a little shout out, Rod, to a young man down in Clare, Nova Scotia, Jeff Lombard. He's a big fan of the Steel Timber Sports Series. Big fan, and he was pretty excited that Nova Scotia was going to have a big event. So big shout out to Jeff Lombard, living down in Clare. Hey, did you know? This is a more fun fact about Andreas Steele that I read out of my chainsaw book. He invented so he's an inventor.
Yes, I heard that.
That was his thing. He was an inventor. So I told you about the gas-powered washing machine earlier.
Yes. The one I'd like to have to actually whip all the stains off my clothes.
Can you imagine? Yeah. But So he made his first. So that was 1923. 4 years later, makes his first chainsaw. 1927. So it took him 4 years to go from a washing machine to a chainsaw. But it only took him 2 more years to build a 2-man saw out of a 6-horsepower 2-stroke motorcycle engine. So he built the first hot saw 2 years after he built the first chainsaw.
Wow, that's I did not know.
Yeah, I
that.
know, 1929. This guy. So
wow.
he was like a
Pioneer.
historical Scott Reed.
He was a historical Scott Reed.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So
How
there you
about-
go. Yeah, I thought that was super cool.
How about the other our judges up there that are helping out right now? Do you know the background behind these guys?
Oh boy, probably too much.
So, the guy at center stage right now, Darren Colford, he's actually a UNB graduate. He was on the UNB Woodsman's team. Actually, I think a little bit ahead of you. So that's Darren Colford. And of course, he runs several shows in the province, does a great job of it.
Yeah, he does do a great job.
Running to the back there right now is Jonathan Russell. He's the head judge. He also is the son of a lumberjack competitor, Guy Russell, and Guy Russell is here as part of our wood crew.
Pretty great. I think, folks, we're just about ready to go. We're going to do a little bit of stage cleaning really quickly to get these guys ready to rock, and then we're off to our final 3 heats of the 2024 Steel Timber Sports Canadian Rookie Championship. And we will be awarding a champion immediately following that. We'll have our awards ceremony. And then we're going to be kicking off our after party with music, beer, tunes, live tunes, all kinds of great stuff. What a day.
So now the last judge has just stepped onto the stage, Roger McPhee. He is a 4-time chainsaw champion in the Maritime Lumberjack Association, and he's also an inductee into the Maritime Lumberjack Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir.
So that's Roger McPhee. He's our 3rd judge up there. Give the crowd a wave there, Roger.
The sheriff, Roger McPhee. Oh,
There
yeah.
he is.
Oh, yeah. As Lindsay would often say, his silky smooth voice, which I kind of appreciate. Go in the final event in the 2024 Steel Timber Sports Canadian Championship. Let's welcome out here for the final time tonight on pole number 1, Anthony McLean.
And joining him on pole number 2, it's Logan Kennedy.
Oh boy, it all comes down to this ride. Final 3 heats. We've been going all day. This has been a heck of a day. Women's qualifier, men's qualifier.
Rookie championship.
4 disciplines already down. We're down to, this is it.
It all comes down to the springboard chop.
Love it. Love it.
So again, these are the competitors that have gained enough points to move on to the final round. These are our final 6 competitors. Best in the nation in the rookie division.
You betcha. Triple points to the winner. Who's going to do it, Rod?
Again, the springboard record right now sitting at 1 minute, 6 seconds. We predict it will fall tonight.
You can cut the tension with a knife. Or an axe.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Anthony McLean on pole number 1. Logan Kennedy on pole number 2. Taking their time, making sure they're going to get a nice, clean notch. Logan Kennedy liking it already. He's shoving that board in. Doesn't like it, so he's going to go back and clean that out just a little bit more.
Getting a little coaching over there, too, from Nathan. That's helpful.
Anthony McLean, I know this is a new event for him as he keeps wailing away, trying to get that a little bit deeper in the pole. So they're going to spend their time to make sure they have a great notch, because it's got to hold them for the length of time that they got to chop that top block. And we know those are pretty rough blocks. So he's going to flick out. You got to get the chips that are in the very back of that notch out of there, which Logan just did. So you watch his board. He'll slam it into the back of that notch, and it'll hold like crazy. Look at that.
Good looking board. Real good looking board.
Great board for Logan Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Oh,
up.
and Anthony's going up too.
Anthony, another solid
Slopey,
board.
but it's deep. It's good, Rod. Those are two good boards. We're into it, folks. You're seeing the springboard chop. Those are good boards. They're not going anywhere, Rod. Both those boards are solid. These guys can really lay into it.
Yep, just get into the block now. Start chopping away.
You bet. Look at this. Folks, they're getting into it. Let's cheer them on. A little bit of a knot there for Anthony, but nothing. That should chip out nice.
So unlike the standing block chop, these competitors are going to chop almost the whole way through on one side before they turn to the back. Because the back side, they're swinging on their opposite side. So they want to make sure they're the whole way through in the front before they turn to chop the back. And then they'll try to slice it off from the back.
It's such a tough job to stand up there to balance on that. You feel it in your legs. You feel it in your hips.
And again, we know this is tough wood, so the challenge is to get through this tough block while you're up there on that board.
Yeah. There is a time limit. You got to blast through it too.
So now they're going to start what we call rolling their scarf into the tree.
Oh.
We've reached the 2 minutes and 32-second time limit.
Unfortunately, not getting through. Well, the day's over for these guys, but they've got nothing to be ashamed of. Heck of a run, made it through to the finals. Big hand for Logan and Anthony. How about it?
Great job by these two competitors. Their first time on the STIHL Timbersports rookie stage. Both making it to the finals. So nothing at all to be ashamed of. Doing a great job here in Truro.
We'll have a talk with both these guys.
Okay, we have a DQ on both stands for exceeding the time limit.
All right, gang, here with Logan Kennedy. How about a big hand for Logan? Well done, pal. I know it's tough to jump up there, jump up on that board. You're getting coaching from Nathan there in the back. I saw that's great. That's always nice. Get the Canadian champ coaching you on. Listen, I know you didn't get through that one. Trust me, I've been there too. It's a tough event, and you're just getting going in your career. So put that one aside. I want you to talk about what it means, this rookie championship in general, just being here this year. How'd it feel?
So this was my goal, was to make it here, the springboard chop. That is the second block I've chopped on top of a springboard. The other one was in Matt Budd's barn. Thank him for letting me come train with him some. This rookie championship was really just to see where I stacked up against all these guys that have aged out of SELA and just amazing competitors. It's great to compete against Jake and Matt. Never had the chance to compete against them before. I got up on a board. I was a little scared, but the fear went away when I started hitting that block. It was good.
How about a big hand for this guy? It takes guts to get on this stage, and it takes even more guts to jump up on a springboard, and he did it, and he did great. Well done, Logan. We're going to see this guy again here soon in the STIHL Timbersports Series. Big hand for Logan Kennedy. Let's get Anthony McLean up here. Big hand for Anthony. Well done, pal. You had a good day overall. You made it through to the finals. Set that aside. That's a tough event. Tough log. You ran into a tough log up top, too. There's been a few of those today. Overall, how'd you feel about the championships in general?
It was a lot of fun. No, I still can't believe that I was able to come and, compete. It was a great time.
So what's next for you, pal? What's the next competition in the circuit? What are you going to do to prepare for next year?
So definitely do some MLA comps this summer. Try and get better. I just learned how to vert a month ago, so I'm going to try and work on that. I definitely need to work on that for sure. But other than that, yeah. And then college next year, STIHL. Yeah.
Right here in Truro, I believe, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
AC boy, let's give him a hand. Great job, Anthony. He's going to practice up through STIHL next year, and you may see him right back again for the rookie championship.
He brings up a really good point. He says he's going to compete. If you want to see Anthony compete a little bit more this year, go to Facebook and look up the Maritime Lumberjack Association. Maritime Lumberjack Association on Facebook. They'll have a list of all the competitions. They're all over the Maritimes. The first one is actually in Boys Town.
That's right.
New
Darren Colford.
Darren Colford show. So there's
New
about
Brunswick
8 or 9
Lumberjack Championship.
Yes, 8 or 9 shows this year, all throughout the Maritimes. Come see these guys. A lot of the competitors here, Marcel Dupuis, the Cumberland boys, the ladies we saw, the Reeds, Jeff Larkin, they will all be competing at the MLA events this summer. So if you like what you see here tonight, come on out and watch some of those shows this summer.
Yeah, there's going to be some great shows, some great competitions. Jeff Larkin, along with my organization, Nova Lumberjack Society, we're going to be hosting the Nova Scotia Championships in Middle Musquedoboit, just down the road, where Ethan Stretch, of course, is from, and Jeff Larkin. You're going to have the Canadian Lumberjack Championships in your neck of the woods.
Yes.
Mactaquac?
Mactaquac Park.
Yeah. Awesome. A lot of great stuff going on this summer. You're just getting a taste for it, folks. And we're just getting a taste for championships.
Well, now, the contenders.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Things are getting serious. We're going to make sure that hammer's off the stage. We'll get that out of the way. Nope, there's a hammer in front of us. There's a hammer on the stage. All right, we're ready to go in the second last heat of the day. Springboard chop, pole number 1, your reigning national champion of the rookie division, Matt Budd.
And on pole number 2, the fan favorite, Ethan Stretch.
Oh, yeah. Oh. This is awesome.
Place is electric for Ethan Stretch.
Oh, man.
That'll energize him in this heat.
You bet. They're running on adrenaline and Tatabrew.
Again, a minute 8 is the national record. Both guys, though, will be going for solid pockets and then getting up, trying to get a real competitive time. So they're in the hunt for the overall. Again, first, second, third on the line, as well as a Canadian champion. So,
yeah, I mean, you just got to get a time right now.
You need a time. And again, the last few years, we've actually had some guys that couldn't go to the World, so you go to the second place person.
Right, yeah. You got to just be in the mix. Get a time, get a board in. Stiff log up top. You got to shot it well.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Matthew Budd, first guy into the wood. He's wasting no time making this notch. Working to clean it out. And look at that, already off the bat. Matthew Budd is up and he's going to get into it. Ethan Stretch is right with him. His board's going in. Matthew at a feverish pace up top.
What a cut.
Ethan Stretch in the hunt. He's going to go on it. Matthew with a feverish pace as he gets into the small wood. Ethan Stretch is chopping as well. He's in this. Matthew cleaning out the far wood. He's around to side number 2. Did he do enough work in the front? Ethan Stretch taking out the far wood. But Matthew Budd's getting ready to dry things off. And there it is.
He is pumped.
Ethan Stretch hanging right with it. He needs a good time. Let's cheer him on. Needs to clean out the far wood a little bit more. Hang right with it, Ethan. Keep in there, buddy.
That's it. He's turning, Rod. He's turning. He's turning. Can he do it? Can he do it? Oh, boy.
He's got to reach across to that far wood. And he's
Oh,
reaching.
it's there. It's there. Come on, Ethan. Come on. One more. Drive it, buddy. Hit it. Yeah. Woo. How about that, your hometown boy? Woo. Oh, boy. That was under the wire.
Again, the goal was to get a time under that 2.5 minutes, and he did it.
Points. Points on the board.
I've got an unofficial time here, too,
And we've
Ryan.
got 2 good cuts.
That was Caitlin Clark-esque. All right, we're going to talk with both of these guys. I'm going to steal Matt Budd over here first. And then we'll grab Ethan as well. One sec. We're just going to confirm something very quickly. You bet. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Matthew Budd, your reigning Canadian champion, chasing down his second title, and he has just set the new national record in the springboard chop, the rookie division. 53 seconds. Well done, Matt. Boy, you were putting in one heck of a pace. You set a great board, strong board, and you were into it, in and out. The axe was moving well. You cut it great, and you were pumped. How you feeling now, buddy? You got a new national record.
Great, great. You know, that pocket went perfect. It was, you know, I've had so many pockets where they're not perfect and you need to spend a little bit of time correcting them. And that one, I got it good. Board felt good, and then it was just wound up, and I was swinging as fast as I could.
Well, listen, with one heat to go, you're now sitting in first place. Great position. We'll see what happens in the next heat. You have no control over that. You did everything you could in that race, set a perfect time, new national record. I mean, this has been a pretty good day for you overall. You feeling pretty good?
Very good. I've been very blessed today. Had a great day. Mistakes to learn from, but, you know, that's life, and you learn.
I like it. Wise words from a young man here. Just getting going in his timber sports career, but showing us how it's done. How about a big hand for your reigning champ? He may be taking home a second championship here today. New national record in the springboard chop, Matthew Budd. Well done, Matt. Let's have a word with the man, the myth, the legend, the local living legend himself, Ethan Stretch. You're like a hype man. I feel like I want to just have you around in general to go around Truro and just have people yell all the time. You did great, buddy. You stayed with it. You got the job done. That's a tough event. I know it's a tough event, but you got through it. You got a time. Talk me through this championship overall. How'd you feel about the day in general? You're done now. Nothing else. You can't do anything more but sit and watch and wait. How'd you feel?
Well, felt good right from the start. A lot of hard work went into this. Like to thank all my family and my girlfriend and Jeff Larkin for all the help. Wouldn't have been able to have this kind of day without those folks. No, it went good. Glad to get a time. It's one of those events I'm not too fond of, but we'll see.
Yeah, listen, it all comes down to time away from the stage. When you're putting the time in the backyard, in the barn, with Jeff, with others, that's where it pays off. It pays off here on the day, but boy, you're clearly putting the time in. You're getting better and better. Every time we see you, you continue to improve. And I think this is just the start of a long and successful career for Ethan Stretch. Let's have a big hand for this guy. Congrats, Ethan. We'll see you next year, pal. Looks like we're ready to rock and roll, Rod, in our final heat of our final discipline of the Rookie Canadian Championship. And I want to hear it from you, Truro, because we're going to wrap things up with our final run on pole number 1 from Magna Bay, BC, Jake Hewitt.
And all the way from Lindsay, Ontario, your current leader, Ethan Johnston.
Yes, sir. Big race. All the marbles.
As predicted, Ryan, we saw that record fall in the last heat.
You called it. Yep.
And I would say, I dare say, it will be under assault in this heat as well.
Well, it's definitely going to be looked at very closely. No, for sure. You know, unlike most of the rookies, unlike a lot of the folks in the Pro Series even, you know, Jake's had a lot of opportunity to chop springboard along this way, so clearly, you know, not new to the event like a lot of the guys, but I think Ethan's been putting in the time too. He chopped it last year. He had to put good time last year, and he very well, you know, he's looking down the barrel at a national championship, I'll tell you.
Exactly.
And you know what that means.
It's all on the line right here in this last heat. It's awesome when it comes down to the last heat of the day.
Love it.
Great competitors.
So Jake's just setting things up. He wants to set that board properly so it doesn't slide, so it doesn't move. It's exactly where he wants it. He's going to cut his pocket, ideally in about 4 hits. 1 down, 1 up, 1 in, board in, on the board, up. Let's see if that happens.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both men hitting the block at exactly the same time. They're going to pound that in there, and look at that, just like dead. There it is. Young Jake Hewitt is up in less than 10 seconds. Ethan Johnston, though, just needs a solid time. He's going to make sure he has a really good notch. If he has a solid time, he's in there. But look at young Jake Hewitt. 18 years old, and he's putting a massive hole in the front of that log. And there's our current leader. He's up, and he's got a good board. And they're both getting into this log now. Jake Hewitt around his side, number 2. Tough wood means nothing to this young man. He's putting a few more swings in. It's not going to be long. Woohoo! Let's stay behind Ethan Johnston. All this matters. He needs a great time here.
He's got to take down the 150 from Ethan's stretch.
Exactly right.
That's the number.
He needs to keep focusing on this, chopping through it.
And he can do it.
He's
still in the mix. He's in the mix. He's got to stay with it.
Ethan Johnston, let's stay behind him.
Keep on him, folks. He's chasing a national championship right now.
Doing a solid job here, getting that wood out in the front. Needs to go a little bit farther, and there it is. The far wood. There, put some drivers in and get around to side number 2. He can take it off here. Let's hang with him here. Cheer him on. Needs to get a time in this event. We can feel it. Let's get him done.
Yeah, all right. You bet. But was it fast enough, Rod?
Was it enough?
Was it fast enough?
Was it enough?
Well, 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 well. You bet.
And we've got 2 good cuts.
You betcha. You bet you do. We're going to talk to both these gentlemen here. We're going to grab Jake first. Come on down, pal. Folks, how about a hand for this guy? 18 years old, first time in the STIHL Timbersports Series. Unofficially, just took down the springboard chop with a time of approximately
48 seconds unofficially.
That's a new record.
Actually,
well done, son.
It's just up officially 48.52. It's a new record.
I think you could do better than that. This young fella just flew in last night for BC to knock down a springboard record and win all 3 chops here today. We don't know yet if he's taken the national championship, but by goodness, you did well there. Jake, talk us through the springboard chop in general. Like that was is a pretty stiff log up top, but you seem to cut it well. Would you, if you had that log back, would you do anything differently?
No, I really wouldn't do anything different. The axe seemed to cut it pretty well. Probably could have jumped on him 4, but thought I'd play it safe and go with 6 and just make a clean cut.
So, first time in the STIHL Timbersports series, first time on the stage. How is this different than competing in Canlog or maybe down in Australia? How do you find this this experience overall?
It's pretty cool. It's a pretty good feeling that I can potentially go represent my country. But yeah, I treat it like every other competition. Just do it right and hope for the best.
He's got a good head on his shoulders, this kid, and he's just getting started in the STIHL series. Jake Hewitt, great job, pal. Your new record holder in the springboard chop. And let's get Ethan Johnson over here. Big Ethan, big hand for him. He got a time in the springboard. We don't know if it's fast enough yet, but boy, you are nipping at the heels of a national championship. If you beat Ethan Stretch, if you were faster than 150, that title's yours. So we'll find out. You got to wait for that one. Big announcement coming. But listen, you did fantastic today. You should be so proud. This guy came out here leading in points going into round number 3. Ethan, you got through the springboard. Talk about the day. How's this day overall felt for you? It's looked great. You've done great. How are you feeling?
It's been a very humbling and incredible experience so far. All these guys are very skilled. They're very, very good dudes. They're good at what they do. But I enjoy coming out and seeing what they're capable of and seeing what I'm capable of. And it's a really good experience. It's a beautiful sport. I fell in love with it. And I can't thank anybody more than Al Cavers for that. He pushed me to do this, and he's been there every day. My family's been there every day for me, and it's been a great experience in rookie.
Well, listen, you got a long career ahead of you, pal. You ran great here today. We're going to find out our official results here soon. Go back, have a breather, be proud of yourself because you did awesome. Ethan Johnston, all the way from Ontario. Great job by Ethan. Great job by all our competitors here, all of our rookies, all of our women, all of our men's pro. This has been an incredible day of wood chopping and sawing, and it's all finally coming to an end. We're going to have our award ceremony in a few minutes, but man, oh man, Jake Hewitt.
What an exciting finish.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Now, have you ever heard a rookie, actually, have you ever heard a pro say, I did 4, but I thought I'd make it safe in 6?
Yeah, I know. Not me. Oh man, unbelievable, you know, absolutely unbelievable. What a performance. You know, we can't say it. We said it all along. We said it all along. Jake has the pedigree, right? He's coming through. He's learning from these amazing athletes that are his family. Bill Bischoff that's here. You've got Mitch Hewitt, his dad. You've got Carl Bischoff, Carson Bischoff. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
What a race. What a race. Things are tight. Things are tight. This has been a great finish.
Well. We certainly want to give a big thanks to the Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition Complex. What a great host venue we've had. We've got indoors. We're out of the rain. Everybody's having a great time here.
Let's thank them for keeping us dry. Big thanks to them for keeping us dry today.
Oh, my goodness. If we had been outdoors, Rod, could you imagine?
My teeth would be chattering.
Yeah, it'd be chilly. It'd be chilly and wet. We're doing great. I want to shout out to Boston Pizza, again, our national sponsor. We've got a fantastic sponsor, Boston Pizza. They support us nationally at all of our events. Go into Boston Pizza, support them. Go get yourself a spicy pierogi. That's my go-to anyway. I'm a big fan.
Actually, anything there right now until the 1st of July, and you get your name put in for a chance to win that phenomenal steel package.
15th of July, 2 extra weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, win yourself some steel products, battery powder. Going to be great. What a day. What a day we've had.
A very exciting day. We still don't know the finals.
No.
Who made the finals in the men's Eastern qualifier and the West, or the ladies.
Yep.
But nonetheless, we saw some phenomenal competitors here today.
Yeah.
Put up some really good chops and sawing. So we'll find that out, I'm sure, in the next few days, who will make it to the national finals out in Kelowna, British Columbia.
Yeah, it'll be announced really soon. You can follow all that on the Still Timber Sports Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok. We'll be announcing across the board. You can watch our live streams on YouTube. If you missed some of today, you want to catch it up, you can go on YouTube, watch the live stream. All of our stuff at the National Championships in Kelowna will be live streamed as well. You can catch all of that live. And then later this year, you can catch it on TSN. We're very fortunate to have an awesome partnership with TSN. They're a big supporter of Steel Timber Sports. That's really helping us turn into a mass appeal, broad sport that more people can access, which is amazing. It's an awesome platform.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
So great job. If you like, yeah, that's right. If you can't make it to an MLA event, all you got to do is find it on YouTube. You can watch this to your heart's content.
I want to say one thing too here. Big thanks to Rod Cumberland co-hosting here today. What a great job he's been doing all day. This is Rod's first time stepping up with us on the broadcast team for Steel Timber Sports, but he has no shortage of experience. You've probably seen him on Lumberjacks TV series over the years. Thanks so much, Rod. It's been a pleasure working with you today.
My pleasure, Ryan.
Absolutely a pleasure to be mine. And I think we're just about ready to go. So let's get into the awards. Rod, we're going to bring out first our judging team. We wouldn't be able to do this without our amazing judging team. Let's bring them out first. Our official Steel Timber Sports judge, Darren Colford. Big hand for Darren.
And from New Brunswick, they call him the sheriff. It's Roger McPhee.
And another big hand for our conducting judge, Jonathan Russell. What a fantastic judging team we have. Big hand for these guys. That is not an easy job. They lay down the law, but they do it very fairly, do a great job. Okay, Rod. I think we're going to bring out our athletes, our 4th to 8th athletes.
Super. Well, we have in 8th place at the 2024 Rookie Canadian Championships, Richard Langell.
Big hand for Richard from Dalhousie AC. In 7th spot, Devin Bustard. Well done, Devin.
In 6th place, first time on the steel rookie stage, Anthony McLean.
Big job. Great job by Anthony. In 5th place, Logan Kennedy. There you go. Top 5 in the nation. Can't beat that.
Nothing wrong with that a bit. Great showing by these young competitors. And now, in 4th place, from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Ethan Stretch.
There you go. The man, the myth, the legend, Ethan Stretch. All right, Rod.
This is it.
This is it. We've done it. We're going to bring out first, in 3rd place, your 2024 champion. 2023 champion, sorry, pal. Coming out in 3rd place, but he ran great today. Had an amazing springboard to finish things off. From New Brunswick, Matthew Budd. Our 3rd place award will be given out by Josh Clark, the event specialist for Steel Timber Sports Canada. Great job by Matthew Budd. Ran great today. Really put on a good showing, top to bottom. Great stuff.
In second place with 49 total points from Lindsay, Ontario, Ethan Johnston.
Big hand for Ethan. Did an amazing job today.
Second place is going to be presented by Kevin Bushy. He's the VP of Major Events and Hospitality with the Central Nova Scotia Sports and Entertainment at the Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition Complex right here in Bible Hill, Nova Scotia. Big thanks to Kevin Bushy.
And that leaves just one man, a young man, all the way from British Columbia. He flew in yesterday, came in here, dominated the chops, winning all three and setting a national record in the springboard chop with 51 points. Put your hands together and get on your feet for your national champion of the rookie division, Jake Hewitt, the mini missile. Unbelievable run by Jake in his first STIHL Timbersports event. Can you believe it, Rod?
Youngest rookie here today, 18 years old, capturing his first national championship in the Canadian rookie division. Big hands to Jake Hewitt.
Absolutely astounding. Great job, Jake. Great job by all of our rookie competitors. That is it for our national championship. But folks, we've got a whole night planned. We got music, we got a beer garden, and if you want to catch more STIHL Timbersports action, check it out on TSN this fall. You can watch a live stream on YouTube. Thank you so much, Truro, Nova Scotia. Thank you so much, Nova Scotia Provincial Exhibition Grounds. Rod Cumberland, Ryan McIntyre signing off. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks so much. I'll ask all STIHL Timbersports staff and athletes to please come to the stage now for a photo.